we on? I'm always wondering if are we live? I think we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Let me shut off some things. All right, cool. Hi, guys. How is everybody doing? Now, first and foremost, let me hold on. I want to make sure everything is off for about an. That's good. Okay, there we go. What is good, guys? How's everybody doing out there? M.V.K here. As always, welcome to another Q&A segment. Open mic. Here we go. Let's do this. Guys, it is May 28th, 2025. And this should be fun as always. Let me set up some things. There we go. Pop up make sure everything's all right. Here we go. So it is good to see people coming in, and as always, let me make sure I get the live. All right, that's cool. All right, everybody is there. I think, yeah. So, yeah, gonna wait for a good while and wait to people start joining and popping in, and then we'll get the ball rolling. So I'll give about 15 minutes. Boy. What the hell? Okay. All right. Let's see. Do 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 do. Okay, what we got here? We got yeah. Okay. You should know me. CEO no. Let's see. Still people coming in. I'm sure people should be coming in, but who's here so far? Comic Guy J99 is here. What's good? Perry King. We have God of Comics. We have Marion, and who else just came? Oh, just a new one, Caroline. What is good, everyone? Let people keep filing in. Oh. How's the weather in New York? It's raining. It's kind of raining right now. Yeah, it's been raining. It was kind of murky all day. Not sunshine and nothing like that. It was very rainy today. Uh, very rainy. Marion, yes. Yeah, it was. That was really sad to hear that. Again, for me, it was because that was not a good way to start the week for me to hear the death of Peter David. That hurt. That hurt because I'm somebody who actually admired him as a writer. I loved his work, and more importantly, I have met him on many occasions, and he was such a really pleasant man to meet, and even gave me some knowledge on certain things that I asked. It wasn't like he was uh, shying away from it. Like if I asked him something, it wasn't as if he was like, "No, I'm not going to answer that." No, he answered everything. He was, he's very open and very honest with me about certain things. And you know, so yeah, to see Peter David pass away was hurtful. 68, that's not old. That's, but I know he had he had some health issues that he was dealing with. And so in that case, I'm sure that played up to it. I remember, yeah, he had a GoFundMe going about helping with his like surgery or something, and I donated to his GoFundMe. It was like, all right, look, I'll help. So yeah, it was tough. It's still tough. It's like it's just there's always certain things that are just gonna make me think about him. Whether I pull out his Hulk run or something like that. And like I said, I went back and I watched a video of his where he talked about um he would have loved to seen a Hulk future imperfect movie. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, we could still do that now. Because the Hulk that he was writing back then was Smart Hulk. So it was Smart Hulk in a future where pretty much he became very crazy and deranged and took over. And I would love to see like the Maestro. That's Maestro, how would they portray him? Would they ask Mark Ruffalo to do two voices where maybe one is just really gruff and things like that? I think there's a lot of people that would love to see the Maestro in a future movie. Um, it's just a case of it all comes down to, it's not even Marvel. It all comes down to Universal. Universal still, I don't understand how Universal still has the rights to the Hulk, like they, and that's why we won't see another Hulk solo movie, and it sucks. But I would, and what Mr. Davis said is proper. You wouldn't have to really include other Avengers or other characters in there, because it's really just Hulk versus his a future crazed version of himself. You can show like memorabilia like Captain America's shield or something like that, but outside of that, you don't got to do that. But knowing Marvel, they would probably want to incorporate maybe an older version of a hero, and you don't need to. You really don't. So yeah, again, Peter David, I wouldn't mind doing that. I will say I heard from a friend also, on this, being that we're on the subject of Peter David, I heard through the grapevine, especially from a friend, that Marvel didn't put up anything about him until like 3 days later. I'm not gonna really get too, harp all over them, but I'm sure they got word of Peter David's death. If not, it's kind of cruel that everyone else was putting up something, and I think DC put up something maybe 2 days or a day later or something like that. I know Jim Lee said some things for him, and things like that. But yeah, I mean, you guys, he was one of your best, and you should have said some things. I mean, Peter David has done a lot. That, for example, I found out through the grapevine again something else that was really cool. Peter David actually, he really should get credited for Fatal Attraction. Fatal Attraction, where Magneto ripped the adamantium out of Wolverine. So it turns out when they were coming up with when they were dealing with doing Fatal Attraction, and they came to that finale, they were having some trouble, I guess, to wrap up that story arc. And Peter David was in the room with them, I think, and he had just screamed out, uh, why doesn't Magneto just rip the metal out of him finally?" And then they all turned and looked at him like, "What?" And then he just, I'm just kidding. What happens? They did do it. So he Peter David should get a lot of credit for that. I mean, I've the only thing I only read a little bit of Peter David's Aquaman, but from what he did with Aquaman, I enjoyed it. His Hulk was always His Hulk was just legendary. It's his Hulk, because of his Hulk, we kind of got more in depth into the Jade Giant himself, like the understanding of why the character. So, was that rage come from? Peter David is the reason why we incorporated um Robert Banner, Bruce Banner's father, who was abusive to him. So we can understand that. Now we get that's where it came from. Joe Fixit, Peter David, Spider-Man 2099, Peter David, Young Justice, Peter David, not just the TV. But we're talking about the comic. Peter David wrote that. Um, X Factor. He was all over X Factor. His blueprint is all over X Factor. His X Factor run is great. So his legacy will always carry on. Ain't no way people are gonna forget about him. But it is, as much as when I talk about I get happy, but I also am a little, then that sadness will come back, and I'm like, "Ugh," you know. So yeah, um, it is pretty sad, but yeah, that death hurt. That hurt very much. Um, Perry King, are you looking forward to I just put up a video about the Batman Deadpool crossover, and unfortunately, I have started to see people online on social media, and it's not like I'm surprised at this, and they're mad about this. They're like, "Oh, Marvel, you failed. You DC brings one of their big guns, but you bring Deadpool." And you know, uh, and I've seen it, and I'm just like, you can't please everybody. Look, would I have chosen someone else? Yes, I would have chosen. There's several things I would have done. Um, I would have chosen. I would have, for me, if you Marvel should Marvel have brought one of their big guns like Spider-Man? Should we have gotten a Batman Spider-Man 3? I would have done it. Should we have gotten maybe a Justice League Avengers 2? I would have done it. A Fantastic Four Superman. To me, that's really what they should have done. They should have done a Fantastic Four Superman 2, to market the two movies. The only thing I can think of with them using Deadpool is the fact that, one, his status quo has gotten now to the point where he has become more recognizable as a character. So y'all give him that spotlight. Now, for me, I don't mind. The reason why I'm not all like, oh, they use one of my favorite heroes. No, for me, it's like we're getting a DC Marvel crossover. You know how long we haven't seen that? 20 years. 20 years. We haven't seen that. And I think people are forgetting that. People are looking at it from a point of view of character wise. It's not wrong, but you should be looking at it more from like, yo, maybe I wasn't around when they first was doing it in the 90s. Or maybe I was just a little kid, so I can't. For me, when they were doing these, I was in my late teens. And it was great to see the Spider-Man, and I'm looking at it right. I'm looking at my Spider-Man Batman right now, both of them. I'm looking at my Daredevil Batman right now. You know, I've only read the Superman Fantastic Four. That is hard to find. I read the Green Lantern Silver Surfer. I've read what else? There was some others I'm forgetting right now. But yeah, they could have used, I mean, they could have done maybe but then of course you also got to look at it from a point of it's business. I'm looking forward to reading both. You're getting one under Marvel, one under DC. Zeb Wells, Greg Capullo is the creative team on the Deadpool Batman. Batman Deadpool is going to be written by Grant Morrison and artwork by Dan Mora. All good. And then we're gonna get one next year. So hopefully we will see They maybe Marvel will and bring their big guns for the next one. All in all, like I said in my video, look, I'm just happy this is happening. You can't just throw negativity at this. You got to look at it from a point of view of like there's a positive to this. And this book is gonna sell. No way this book ain't selling. People are gonna want to read because for me, I want to read it. I want to know who hired Deadpool to come to Gotham for a job and what is that job. There's me. I have my suspicions. The synopsis was Deadpool was hired to come to Gotham for a job. He is a mercenary. But for me, I'm wondering, is it to take out the Joker? Who is it? I want to know. I'm really interested. I'm really interested in that. I want to know. Uh, so, so yes, but I am excited for the Deadpool Batman crossover. It's Deadpool Batman first, then Batman Deadpool. Um, do you hope that Transformers One gets a sequel? Because it to me it if it doesn't, all those years of waiting would have been for nothing. For what? Waiting for what? We got a prequel story. Everything was finished. They did the right thing. They showed how, in their version of how Optimus became Orion Pax became Optimus Prime, and how became Megatron. That's fine. If they don't give us a sequel, that's fine. There's no need for it, really. Um, hey, Multi, what's good? What's up, T? What was the next one? Do you think Dante from Devil May Cry will be good friends with Mordecai and Rigby? I, I, I don't know. I don't. Maybe I guess. Are you still reading Chainsaw Man? Yes, I am still reading Chainsaw. I'm still continuing reading Chainsaw Man. Yes, haven't stopped. Uh, what would Elektra and Cassandra Kane think about each other? Uh, Elektra would probably think that Cassandra has mom issues, and she'd probably tell her get out of her mom's shadows, even though it's tough to get out of her mom's shadow. I mean, she is the daughter of Lady Shiva, so but I could see that. I think she would also, you're good. I wish that Marvel would completely disregard the thing with Universal and do a solo Hulk movie. You mean another solo movie? They can't do that because then they'll be breach of contract, and that's not good. You don't want that. You'll get in serious trouble for that. So no, they can't just do that. What would Black Widow think of Solid Snake? Probably have sex with him. More than likely, yep. They're banging. They're smashing. I can tell you right now. Widow Cubes. Hi there. When's your next non-comic book lineup? Those are interesting. They'll be coming back not this month. Next, I think in July, because I'm still setting up the lineup for the next run. The next because the lineups I think 12. So the next 12 episodes. Had Professor Xavier killed Magneto at the end of Fatal Attraction, do you think the mutants would look up to him, or do you think he would have been affected? He would have affected the Brotherhood mutants. Honestly, I think if he would have been if Professor Xavier mind wiped the fuck out of Magneto like he did. Like he legit mind wiped him. Like after Magneto ripped the adamantium, Professor Xavier went ham on him big time. Was like he made him suffer, but he didn't kill him. Read Fatal Attraction if you don't know what I'm talking about. Um, it would have been more on the conscience of him than anything. So yeah, he would have hated himself for it morally. Mr. Multiverse. Hey, many he gave Marvel everything and Oh yeah, and three. And keep in mind they gave goodbye to other creators the day of their pass. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what maybe I don't know. I'm not going to objectify it. I'm not going to be in a sense of like, okay, that happened. Maybe I don't know. Maybe somebody on the crew or the online crew or whatever this meet web didn't. They I don't know how you forget it, but it just was stupid that make mistakes. People make mistakes. To me, I get it. But as long as they acknowledged it, I'm fine with that. They still acknowledged it. Uh, how am I doing from Andre? I'm fine, Andre. I'm fine. Uh, Zeox. I hope I'm saying that. We need that Spawn movie to come through. Well, that Spawn movie, you better blame that on Todd McFarlane. McFarlane keeps saying it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And problem with Spawn is nothing is going to go forward without McFarlane's approval. McFarlane is just too that is his baby. And it's like he doesn't want anybody else to touch it besides him. I don't know if Jamie Foxx is still um attached to it to play Spawn, but the movie's not even going to be really focused on Spawn. The movie's going to be focused, I believe, on Sam and Twitch. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And I'm still wondering if Jeremy Renner is attached to it because I think he was going to play Twitch. Um, Gotta comes. I got a new figure. It is a Daredevil McPhee, and I'm having posts with my Nightwing figure. Oh, that's cool. Nice. D Mike, excuse me. Hey Chris, I missed your animal I missed your animal reaction video, and you're right about the polar bear. Ain't no joke. Yeah, ain't no joke with no polar bear. I'm dead serious. Like, look, man, I they kill me. I'll say this much. It makes me laugh when I hear people say they'll be able to fight a bear or that I could fight a grizzly or I could fight a polar bear. You better get off the drugs. Okay, get off the drug. Even a black bear, you can get seriously hurt from. Even though they say if it's black, you fight back, and if it's brown, lie down. But it's white. Good night. Is good night. You're not gonna handle yourself with a polar bear like black bear and brown bears. Are one thing. They're omnivores. Polar bears are not omnivores. They're carnivores, and they only eat meat because there ain't nothing to eat outside of meat in the tundra and everything. They legit hunt humans if they see them. Like, and you just look in their eyes. It's just black. It's just scary. Like, you ever look at a polar bear's eyes? It's scary. It's like a shark. Like, there's nothing in there. It's like death. That's all it is. Yeah, death. So I hate they kill me with this nonsense about yeah, I could fight one of them. That's why I put up that video. Like, yeah, go watch this and tell me you could fight one of these things. Go ahead, go ahead without weapons. Get out of here! Don't give me that garbage. It's a joke. It ain't no joke. Perky, I hope we get Batman and Spider-Man crossover. Somebody had asked me. I think it was on Thread or Instagram. I forgot who it was, but I was talking to somebody on Thread, and we were talking about like the the crossovers that should have happened. Maybe Marvel should have went with their big guns first and not Deadpool. And I even said, yeah, a Spider-Man Batman 3 would have been great. I would have loved to seen that or a Batman Daredevil 3, I believe. Yeah, because they've done two before. Like I said, Superman, they should have done Superman Fantastic Four 2 just to play into since Marvel likes to use since now, especially more the comics, they love to be more influenced by the MCU than anything. Don't tell me they don't, because they do. This whole Thunderbolts, it was what that whole book, that book is called. It was called New Thunderbolts. Had the same lettering, same, and all of a sudden, soon as, if you've seen Thunderbolts and what happened at the end, it was called New Avengers. What happens next? They turn that the lineup to New Avengers, and I'm like, really? I'm like, really? It's like you guys are more influenced by what's going on in the MCU than you're like. It's like, yo, come on. I'm. You don't buy that? Shang-Chi has 10 rings, and they allow him to teleport places now. And I'm like, you didn't have that before. And the 10 rings are the 10 rings that the Mandarin have, the 10 ring the Makino. But the 10 rings you saw in the movie, he has that now, and he teleports and stuff. And I'm like, he didn't have that before. Where'd that come from? I wonder. Don't think I don't even look at the return of Punisher coming back. If you don't think they are bringing Punisher back because of John Bernthal came back as Punisher, you're fooling yourself. And as much as I love Ben Percy, look, you cannot sit there and deny that that probably played a factor in them saying, okay, you know what, we're gonna do Punisher again, bring him back to his roots, Skull Emblem and everything. Is it cool? Yes. It's under the Red Band label. Cool. And I've read a lot of the Marvel Red Band label. Blade Red Band, the Werewolf by Night Red Band is great. So yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to it. It's Ben Percy. You know, I have had the pleasure, and Multi's in the comment section. Ask him. We both had the pleasure of meeting him. Hell of a guy. Deepest voice I ever heard in my life. His voice scared the crap out of me a little. I was like, whoa, I didn't expect that voice to come out of him. But yeah, he was great. You know, he it was great. He was really fun to meet. So yeah. Um there were a lot of crossovers they could do, you know, and hopefully next year, because they're going to do it again, they may think about, okay, we gave them a little taste. Let's both bring the big guns. Because I swear, if it came down to the only way, because I even started thinking, what if the only way they were going to do this crossover with DC is if DC said something like, well, you can't have one of your, we got to bring our heavy gun, we got to bring one of our big guns, but you can't bring yours. If that's something true, because that crossed my mind, that little dick measuring contest, just to, yeah, don't be surprised if that may have been it. Like, well, we'll do it, but you can't bring one of yours. We have to have ours. I don't. I swear to. I gotta stop thinking like that. But I have a little bit of thinking like that. Um, what Wonder Woman crossover would you like to see? Um, Wonder Woman Hulk would have been fun. Wonder Woman and um, Won- uh, Wonder Woman and Marvel's Hercules would have been great. Wonder Woman and Ms. Marvel would have been great. Wonder Woman and maybe another meeting between Wonder Woman and Storm. Wonder Woman and Carol would have been great. I would have done a Daughters of the Dragon and Birds of Prey crossover. I would have had Gail Simone write that. Um, I would have done an X-Men and no, before X-Men. I would have done a Hulk and Swamp Thing crossover, not Swamp Thing and Man Thing, Hulk and Swamp Thing. I would have done a New Warriors and Titans crossover. I would have done. I probably would have stayed away from an Aquaman uh Namor crossover. Like maybe Aquaman is maybe one of somebody else from the family. Uh, I would have done a. Then there's so many I would have done. Like yeah, there's a bunch, but those are just a few from Wonder Woman I would have done. The obvious ones, but then I would have gone really out there too. Um, Wonder Woman and Rogue would have been cool. Yeah, there we go. There's another one. How much how much you want to bet Deadpool is hired to kill Bruce Wayne in the upcoming in Necro? If it's Bruce Wayne, I'm a laugh because I'm like, okay, who would want Bruce Wayne dead? I'm just I there's a part of me that thinks he's hired to kill Joker, like, and Batman's gonna stop him, or something like that, because he's coming to Gotham. He's not Batman's not in New York, or not New York. I'm in wherever, but I do like the fact that they're playing this up like they're in the same world. I like crossovers like that, like how they did this Batman Spider Man. Like Batman knew about Spider Man, Spider Man knew about Batman. It wasn't like they didn't know about each other. I like that. That was cool. Um, this is stupid. This is stupid that GI Robot went to jail because he killed neo Nazis. He was programmed to kill Nazis. Yeah, yeah, I'm still, I'm almost, I think I have to finish recording the rest of my Creature Commandos on my Patreon. That's where you can watch it. You can watch along with me. I do a watch along and we can watch them together. Yeah, GI Robot, who was my favorite. I liked him. I got no problem killing. But as soon as I saw when he was rebuilt, and he went to that, I'm like, and I saw that mark, that 8, I was like, oh my god, I know what these are. And then he knew, and then and he went to jail for it. Again, by law, he still murdered people. And unfortunately, in this guy, yes, there's a law against that. You murdered people, even though, yes, you didn't have to believe in their religion, but yeah. But for me, there you go. Okay, welcome. Okay, and if you want to follow that pickle puss and his teachings, okay, go ahead, dude. Because of him, he ruined a mustache look forever. Now nobody. Have you ever seen anybody in person have a mustache style like him? No, because they don't want to be labeled across him. Fucking idiot, stupid ass. I think his what was it? I think his grandmother was Jewish too, or something like that. What kind of stupid shit are you, dumbass? Anyway, yeah, moving on. Andre, you say also. There's another quick question for you. How would Yujiro Hama would have reacted towards uh someone like Lady Shiva? I think you would be somewhat impressed and probably would like, you're gonna make a baby. You're gonna bear me a child. Yeah, he'll probably do that. Yep. Yep. Um, let's see, moving on. Uh sorry. Uh I hate All-Star Batman. I hate that version. How he treated Robin and Alfred. I hate that yeah, and, again, if you have never read All Star Batman, look, I only liked it for the artwork, which was Jim Lee's artwork. Um, but the way he would talk to Robin, he called Robin a little shit. He did this. It was downright ridiculous, and I'm just like, I, and I forget who wrote that. I think it was Frank Miller. I think it was Miller. Was it Frank Miller? Somebody tell me. I can't remember. But it was just a little pathetic to me. Um, Also, who do you think are the top 5 Black Widow villains from Marvel Comics? Black Widow never really has a legion of villains like that. But if you want to get technical, the Iron Maiden is the character that uh uh, um, Rachel Weisz played. She's actually a villain. She's actually a villain of Natasha's, and even even Yelena is a more of a villain. She's not, she they are not on. They do not get along, not really. Yelena Boliv and Natasha they do not get along. They do not. Um, Crimson, Red Guardian kind of is another one in that category. Don't really get along with Natasha, even though they were married one time. Yes, for anybody who doesn't know, if you are just following the movies, Red Guardian is not Natasha's father. It is she and Red Guardian they were married. Um, and the other one I could say is basically Natasha's not allowed back in Russia in the comics. She's not. She goes back there. She is going to be attacked by the Winter Guard, the Russia's equivalent to the Avengers, because she's still looked at as a traitor. She's not a so any Russian hero or superhuman, if they find her, she's on Russian soil, go after her. Yes, Peter David, again, thank you all for writing that. Next month, Pride Month. And guess what? My friend Erin, she invited me to the parade. I said this to her for minimum to the parade. Okay, cool. Um, who do you think is going to be the main villain in the uh, Godzilla Godzilla X Kong Supernova? Um, I I've been praying for Destroyer for a long time. Um, but I guess I'm not. We're not gonna get it. I've been wanting to Destroyer for the longest time, and I'm not getting it. I really didn't care for the villain um the last one. Really, I was like another monkey. I'm like, oh my god! But um, if it would be interesting to see Wonder Woman crossover with Marvel's Thor. Yeah, it'd be cool too. Like I said, I would try to keep. I would try to keep Diana away from the godlike characters. That's the problem. Because see, everybody's just going to want to see her with because of her connection to gods. Yeah, let's have her. If anything, you want to do that, then anything, have her team up with Valkyrie or Sif or something like that. That's cooler. But just to her to go to Thor, I think the only reason people because they would want to see her pick up Mjolnir or something again. That would be cool if they even acknowledged that that happened. They remembered it, but pick up your phone, bro. My phone. Oh, pick up my phone. Why? I'm hold on. Mm. Oh, why? Pick up my phone. Uh, okay. Pick up my phone. Hello. Hey.
I thought I'd drop in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I've been watching. I'm watching the stream right now.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought I'd call in, say hi. I don't get to do this. Like I'm usually not able to get into the live stream, so I figured I'll make this special. Hope you don't mind.
No.
What you call a crossover episode?
Yeah, yeah, crossover. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I hope I'm not I hope I'm not making an ass of myself here. I just thought I thought this would be funny.
No, you're fine because you're live anyway. Everybody can hear you.
Well, hello everyone. It's Mr. Multiverse.
Yeah.
So yeah, speaking of, we've done all the crossover. We're doing we're doing Batman Deadpool. Why not Mount Vernon?
Yeah.
So, I guess I'll throw in my 2 cents. I've done like several videos on these Marvel DC crossovers.
Yeah.
I'm happy first off that Zeb Wells is getting something to try to wash away the Spider-Man stink.
Right.
And I've your subscribers are the same as mine for the most part. Neither Chris nor I dislike Zeb Wells. I mean, we've met him, and he's a genuinely nice guy.
Right.
Yeah. Have you told him the Ben Reilly story?
Yeah, I've told. I think they've heard that. I've even showed the picture of it once. Yeah. But the last time I didn't tell them the last time we met him, which was this year. We did meet him, and like I told you guys, like when we met him at this year's MegaCon, no one was at his booth. No one came by, and he just looked drained, like drained. And there was a one time we were heading back to our hotel, and I saw him on the phone with somebody, and he just looked drained. And I don't know what it was. Like I guess that Spider-Man run probably took a lot out of him because of editorial probably saying, no, you can't do this, no, you can't do that, blah blah blah. So yeah, he is a genuine nice guy. It's not like I hate him or anything like that. You know, he's gonna have Greg Capullo doing the artwork, which is cool. And then the next one is Grant Morrison and Dan Mora, which comes out in November. And like I said earlier, with the people are throwing their 2 cents in, like, oh, why is DC bringing their big gun but Marvel's not bringing theirs? I don't know.
I would say Zeb's kind of a big gun. I mean, I think again, it's just the Spider-Man run really hurt him. I personally, and again, going to what Chris said about like Zeb, like his booth was being disheveled. Yeah, he looked destroyed.
Yeah.
And I think also, Chris, you still have that interview on your phone. I think on your camera. I mean,
yeah, of what? Who?
The Zeb Wells interview.
I think I do.
That Ben, because for those who don't know, it was me, Chris, and my girlfriend, and my girlfriend there were 2 interviews missing, Ben Percy and Zeb Wells, and I think those are on your phone, my dude.
Okay, I gotta check.
Or camera, whatever.
Yeah, camera.
Yeah. So, Chris, let me ask you this: which of these 2 Batman Deadpool crossovers are you kind of more interested in?
Honestly, the DC kind of, because because Grant knows how to write Batman. I don't think Zeb Wells has ever written Batman. And I think he know Grant Morrison understands Deadpool too, because he's written Deadpool. My biggest thing is wondering who hired Wade and what is his assignment. Someone just said he's coming to probably kill Bruce Wayne. I hope it's not that, because that's kind of boring to me. I'm like, oh, what? Who's that? I'm hoping it's like, yeah, he's been hired to kill one of Joker or something, because I would love to see Joker and how Wade and Joker would interact with each other. That'd be pretty funny.
Honestly, it'd be kind of funny if it is Joker. It'd be hilarious if it was Bullock who hired Wade.
Oh yeah, because Bullet ain't on the force. I think he retired. So yeah, who knows? I'm just saying, like, I want to know who hired Wade. I know that the other thing I was talking about in terms of a big gun is that's where I mean by also people wishing that there's some people that don't look at Deadpool as one of Marvel's big guns, and but his status quo has gotten bigger.
Really? People don't think Deadpool is not a big gun? I
Nope.
think the $2 billion his last movie made says otherwise.
And yeah, there are some people that look at it like that and say, yeah, well, he's not really a big guy. I've seen people just rip him apart on social media. I'm like, he earned his spot. Like, that's his spot. It's just, I think they're just mad because one of their favorites didn't get it. And
look, I get it too.
Yeah.
I think Deadpool should have. I knew Deadpool was going to be in this rotation of crossovers because his popularity has exploded.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: Deadpool sells comics. Batman sells comics. Would I have preferred Batman Spider-Man 3 or Superman Spider-Man 3? That was what I thought it was going to be, but it was not. I think, again, and you said it best earlier in the stream, the fact that this is happening in after 20 years of nothing, 20 years of like Dan Dickhead and Joe Fatboy ruining things. Let's just have this. Like, let's make sure this sells well and we can have crossovers we want to see in the future.
Right. That's the way I look at it. I mean, these are gonna sell. That's the whole point. It's like these are going to sell no matter how you look at it. It like I said, is not my first. I thought they would have done maybe Superman and Fantastic Four too, because to sell off of the separate movies that are coming out, but no, they're not. They're going with something else. But I'm looking forward to it because it's like, yo, it's 20 years, man. It's like it's been 20 years since these two big companies have done a crossover, since they have seemed like they put their egos aside, put their dicks away, and was like, okay, we'll work together.
Yeah. Do you understand? I don't think people fully grasp how hard it is to make a crossover. Because here's the thing: it's not just Marvel and DC and all the editors and lawyers who have to get together. It's executives from Disney and Warner Brothers who have to play nice.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's like it still amazes me that we even got a Naruto Ninja Turtle crossover. Do you know how the minutia of what that had to take to get that?
Yeah.
And like, I also want to, and I think people need to understand this, so I'm going to harp on it a little more, if you don't mind, Chris.
No, go ahead.
The minutia of trying to do these crossovers. Another example of this is the Avengers Ultraman crossover.
Yeah.
Do you know how long it took to finally get that ball rolling because Marvel, Disney, and Subaraya could not agree on anything?
Right.
It took an extra year and a half. So the fact that we're getting this at all, to everyone just saying, oh, I don't like it because this, and that, shut the fuck up.
You gotta also look at it like, once again, and then also you put into the fact of with crossovers, with both separate companies, they don't want their property looking inferior to the other. And you can see that they probably don't. And I give a good example of that, guys. If you've been reading the one shots of Godzilla versus Marvel stuff, and all of them, nobody looks bad. They make sure Godzilla does not look inferior to their heroes at all. Like, he's always standing tall, like never like down or out. And
yeah, that's actually a contractual thing Toho has. Like,
yeah,
he has like a Dwayne Johnson kind of contract where Toho, I shit you not, Toho has stated in contract Godzilla can't lose in comics.
Yeah, he can't lose. So, and it makes me wonder, with the last one being Godzilla and Thor, like, how is that gonna end? Like, because it's like, yeah, okay, that makes, because the next one is New Avengers, and then Thor is last, and then they're doing another one where it's him versus the Marvel Universe. So again, with that being said, there's there is going to be something. They can't make him look he can't look inferior to the Marvel heroes. And they're just, and I know that next week they're putting out the first issue of the new Godzilla Kong 2 book. And even in that, he looked Superman. Who went down? Superman, not Godzilla. It was like, whoa, Superman. So it's like you knew something was up.
Yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, that's kind of the thing. I mean, again, it's like a Vin Diesel or Dwayne Johnson contract. Does it make me mad that basically Godzilla gets a pass because contractually he can't lose? I think it's a little unfair, but at the same time, suck it, Godzilla rules.
Yeah. People are saying, what are the people saying? Oh, hi. Oh my God, it's good to hear multi. Then go watch your stuff, Marion. um,
Yeah,
what was I at? Oh, Caroline, you asked her, do you know about the live action He-Man? I did. I actually saw some live action footage, and I thanked them for actually having the accurate sword of power. I was like, that looks just like the sword from. I was like, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
yeah. I will say though, the plot makes me want to die.
Yeah, I wish they didn't do this whole like, well, he lost his memory or something like that. I'm like, okay, okay. But I was hoping for it just to stay on Eternia and not again, they fell into the same problem the Dolph Lundgren movie fell in. They went to Earth. I'm like, oh, like I want to keep it on Eternia.
Here's my question, Chris. Why is it that every single movie that adapts like a cartoon or something goes to Earth? What is so special about Earth when we want to see, like, we don't want to see, superhero, our heroes from 80s cartoons or whatever, or like trying to deal with what an iPhone is. Well, no, we want to see like big battles on their world.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know.
Why do you think it was so cool to get like the best moments of the Bumblebee movie were the first 10 minutes? That's what we wanted from the beginning.
We when the Bumblebee movie, what did we see in the Bumblebee? We saw the Autobots and Decepticons fighting on Cybertron. That's what we got, and then it went right to Earth again. And yes, okay, yes, I understand that the humans do play a factor in the Autobots winning the Great War. I get it, but they're not that big. Like it's all about it's the damn movie's called Bumblebee. There you go. I get it, but it's just we want to see He-Man on Eternia, and we want to see him and the rest of his allies fighting Skeletor and his villains on Eternia. Yes, He-Man's mother is an Earthling. I get that, but at the same time, it's like we've seen this story done before, where hero is forgotten who he was or something like that, and something has to take them to bring them back and gain their memory, and that's what it seems like. Yeah, He-Man has forgotten who he was, and Tila is the one bringing him back. I'm like, okay, but I just wish it was on Eternia. I really do.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, why does it have? It's not just them. It's like even the Smurfs movies do this, dude.
Yeah.
And like the Sonic movies, as good as like the Sonic movies are, why do they need to be on Earth?
Yeah.
I just never understood like the worlds these characters come from are interesting enough. You don't have to leave them to go to Earth. I know what Earth is. It sucks. You don't need to show my characters, the characters I love, going to Earth. Like, how would you feel, Chris? Honest question. How would you feel, bro, if like we had a live action, a DuckTales movie where they go to the real world? Would you want that? I wouldn't.
We kind of got that with the Chip and Dale movie already.
Yeah, but like if it was DuckTales.
Oh
like,
no, I wouldn't want that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, Duckburg is cool enough. You don't have to go to Earth, the real world.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Chris.
No, you're fine. I'm looking at somebody else's question now. You've been playing what, Travis? Legends of Dragoon. Oh, that's a classic right there. That's a good game. Let's see. Jin from Tekken. He was a kid, and he'll be a great dad. Not trying to kill off. Yeah, I would hope Jin would be a good dad if he had a kid, because his father's fucked up, and so is his grandfather. Uh, I can imagine Electra would probably have history with Lady Shiva if they were ever in the same universe. Oh yeah, they would. They would definitely
Yeah,
have history. They would definitely have history. I can see them being deadly enemies.
yeah. It makes me wonder, like, why was um, Elektra pitted against Black Cat in Marvel versus DC? I
Yeah,
feel like it makes me wonder. Is like, so y'all just didn't remember Selena exist, I guess,
yeah,
and also like, Cassandra King was a big character at that point. You could have Elektra fight Cassandra.
yeah. I mean, again, when you look at the that when you look at that Marvel versus DC, the remember the fights that you voted on, because many of the fights that they didn't advertise that was in it, I was more interested in those. I was like, okay, that was cool. But the ones you voted on, it was just like, okay, this is kind of dumb and sideways at the same time. I understood
Yeah.
where a lot of them were coming from. You had Ben Riley Spider-Man versus Superboy. Why? Because they're both clones. I get it, but it was still dumb. You know, it's
Oh,
like,
the worst fight in that whole crossover was, right?
Robin and Jubilee.
Oh, Robin and Jubilee's second place. No, Wolverine and Lobo's fight.
Oh yeah,
It's all like because you want to know why it's awful? Because you don't see it.
you
They
don't
just fall under the table and Wolverine climbs out.
right. Uh, I didn't like the Aquaman Namor fight. I was like, Namor should just pick that whale up and just throw it at him. I'm like, what the hell? I didn't like that. And Aquaman even admitted, yeah, I can cheat. He cheat. It's like, yeah, I'll cheat. I'll cheat to win. I was more interested in the fights that they didn't show. Like I love the Bane and Captain America fight. I was like, okay, this is actually kind of cool. And they had Gambit and Nightwing fighting, and there was some fights that they just showed from like a big panel. You saw Green Arrow and Hawkeye, but if I'm not mistaken, that was Connor Hawk in there. I was like, why is Connor there? That should be Ollie.
I think it was because just like how Ben and Connor were there. I think it was like current DC and Marvel
Yeah,
at the time.
at the time, and they even had a Joker and Green Goblin. I was like, I would have liked to seen that, but it was just voting. It was, you put Cap and Batman fighting, and I was looking at that like, this is stupid. I was like, that was stupid too. So even the Green Lantern, and look, I'm a Kyle fan, guys. Y'all know how I am with Kyle, but there was no way Kyle was beating Norrin. I was like, there's no way. Like he's not even at that level. I don't care how much that ring work, how much willpower he's got. He's not beating somebody who can make and mold the entire universe if he wanted to. Like there's no way.
Yeah. Now I will say that maybe current, like present day Kyle Rayner could give Norrin a run for his money because now he's the White Lantern.
Yeah.
But yeah, back then, Kyle ain't winning that fight.
It was not.
You know what these crossovers, Chris? You thinking maybe we could get like finally Thanos versus Darkseid is one of them?
I would like to see that.
Like maybe get Jim Starlin if they haven't like burned him enough.
Yes, yeah.
Jim Starlin. I think that's also would be kind of cool if we did Marvel DC villain crossover comics.
That would be funny.
Because I kind of would like to see. I would love to see like Joker Green Goblin comic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go off that tangent.
No, you're fine. Let me see. Marion, in your opinion, do you think that if Professor Xavier killed Magneto, do you think it would have made Magneto a martyr to? If so, why? Depending on how people would look at it and why. Look, that friendship is dynamic, and no matter how much shit, especially Magneto, has done to Xavier, he won't go there. He won't kill him. He won't do that. As the farthest he ever got to kill him was Fatal Attraction. That was the farthest he nearly got. He won't kill him. He will not. He won't do it. I'm telling you right now, guys. He won't. It won't happen. It won't happen. Thoughts on the Harry Potter casting. I'm not. I'm not caring about that. That's. I don't care about Harry Potter as much. Sorry, dude. I really don't. Uh, why doesn't Akuma not fight Sagat? What do you think? There's a reason for that. Uh, um, because he Akuma is, first of all, he's not evil, but he's always looking for, like, he's kind of like Yujiro. He does look for a worthy opponent, and to him, a Sagat's not that dude. It's not that he's not that dude for him, even though he could be. But he looks at, like, he looks at his brother, and of course his brother's students. Like, yeah, I want that. Akuma, guys, is one of those guys. Like, he don't like. He's not one to cheat. Like, he is a guy that likes your own strength. So if you have weapons and you fight with weapons, he hates that. Like, he hates that with a passion. It's like, yeah, you're a coward. Like, if you don't believe that, go play any later Street Fighter game and play with Crimson Viper and beat her and listen to what he says about her. He just goes in a tangent over her. He's like, you're pathetic. I'm like, shit. Like, yeah, you gotta fight him fair. Like, he's one of those guys. Like, if you can beat me fair with your true strength, you're good. It's kind of like, he's kind of like, I would say he's kind of like Alucard from Hellsing. If you don't fight Hellsing, that you're fierce, that he's bored, and he's just like, I'm gonna kill you just making me bored. Like, don't fight with weapons, because that just piss him off. It's just gonna piss him off. Uh,
Uh, yeah.
Sagat versus who? Jack Hama. Who will win? Sagat. Jack Hama don't win shit. Okay, he don't. As all juiced up as he is, he don't win nothing. Perry King. If Frieza existed in the Invincible universe, goodbye Invincible universe.
Well, I mean, okay, I gotta.
Yeah,
Yeah,
jump in that one.
okay, I think people don't understand how powerful like Viltrumites are strong, but like we know there's a power limit to them. Like Frieza just like the dude trained for 3 months and he got to god level, and then he went training for 1 more year, and then got beyond that. I think people don't realize that like there's no way like any Viltrumite could get on Frieza's level. And I'm trying to sound like a Dragon Ball Z nutty hugger here. I'm just saying, like, I know there's a physical limit to these characters. Like Kirkman put in physical limits for the Viltrumites.
Right. That's what.
Guess what? Oh, sorry.
No. What was you gonna go ahead? Because I was gonna speak.
Yeah, he is gonna call them monkeys, though.
Yeah, he'll call them monkeys, but that's why it always bothers me when I hear people say, Viltrumite, the Viltrumites versus the Kryptonians, and I'm like, are they got full sunlight and everything? And I'm like, they're like, yeah, goodbye Viltrumites. There's no way they are going to be a fully grown Kryptonian that has been absorbing sunlight through their body for a long time. They'll kill them. Like, they can, Viltrumites are not that strong compared to someone else, the other, Kryptonian like beings.
Yeah, and I hate when people say like, oh, Conquest or Thrag or one of the other or Omni Man could beat Superman, and I'm like, because and then they'll like, oh, they'll use their full strength because they're gonna go for the kill and Superman won't. And I'm like, that's funny. You know who else goes for the kill and Superman still beats? General Zod, Doomsday, Parasite, Mongol. Don't they go for the kill too? And Clark still beats them?
Right.
So, I don't know where you're getting like, oh, because they're blooded. And I'm like, this isn't like blooded. What the fuck does that mean? Like, oh, they're like bloodlusted and all that. Like, cool. Superman can still whip their ass. I don't care if like the biggest Viltrumite comes in like dick swinging, ready for a fight. that's I hate to tell you this, pal, but your boy Conquest is going to still lose the fight, and Clark is just going to send his ass to the Phantom Zone after.
Oh my god. Okay. Wait, hold up. What if all the evil Mark Graysons went to the Marvel Universe? How long would they last? And not that long.
Oh no, they like because here's the thing. The Invincible's in his universe. Mark Grayson's pretty powerful.
Yes.
Like, yeah, it's a different story when he goes to a different universe because guess who's like also not only like powerful enough to stand up to the variants, but also willing to kill? Thor,
Yeah.
Hulk. I'm sure Mr. Fantastic will probably figure out some way to, Reed's probably going to build some dimensional thing to like send them to the negative zone or something.
Yeah,
Tony's going to like build an armor that's just going to just wreck them.
You got Carol, who's a powerhouse. Hell, if they got the X-Men involved, Rogue could easily just drain on like it's over.
Or they could just go, "Hey Wanda, do the thing.
Yeah.
No more Invincibles.
No more. Yeah, and then you got like Wanda good one. Wanda of all people just like say goodbye. Like no, it wouldn't take that long. It would not take that long. Boy, you guys are really going on about GI Robot. I miss him too. Uh, what would GI Robot? What if GI Robot was in the Black Lagoon universe? I don't know because they would have to probably tell him, oh, those are Nazis. So he can, because he's so transcend on Nazis. It depends, yeah.
It'd be kind of funny. Like, I think Revy, for some reason, would have an affinity, not like romantic, but more like I like.
I think we lost him. I think we lost him. Uh-oh. I think we lost him. There we go.
Oh,
yeah, there we are. We got him back. We got him back.
Like I was saying, like I think Revy wouldn't find him would have an affinity for him. He's a big gun.
Yeah, he's a big gun. Yeah.
I think he'd also be like just kind of that. Just imagine that scene where he's with Easy Company. Cheers. Just imagine that the Yellowtail bar.
Right.
Like Revy would just be like, "Cheers to the Tin Man."
To the Tin Man. Okay. But yeah, I mean it would be fun, but it would just they would have to trick him like, are they Revy? Are those Nazis? Yeah, they're Nazis. Shoot them. Okay, and then he shoots. Comic Guy, you ask thoughts on Jason Momoa and Roman Reigns situation for the live action Street Fighter. Okay, yeah, I was gonna make a video about this. Look, I if they're really gonna change the ethnics, because I think I know who they want Roman Reigns to play Akuma, and if they're gonna do that, then they're gonna get Momoa to probably play Master Goken. So basically, what you're doing is you're changing the ethnicity of Goken and Akuma. Instead of making them Japanese, we're making them Polynesian. Okay.
Which I'm like, there's like 7 Polynesian characters.
Yeah.
In Street Fighters to go for. Hell, you could get away with making Roman or Momoa Sagat.
Yeah. I mean, and they've done that before. I mean, believe it, guys. If you haven't watched the original Street Fighter '94 movie, they had Sagat played by a Native American actor. So I'm like, wait, what? Like, see? So look, I'm really confused about it. I really wish they'd have just let Danny Azar and Christian Howard continue what they did with Street Fighter. Was great. If you haven't watched Street Fighter Assassin's Fist, go watch it. It's pretty much the closest you'll get to a near perfect adaptation of Street Fighter live action. But they do this every time, guys, when it comes to, and my brother and I, Malcolm, we were talking about this, like live action movies of fighting games, they seem to not know how to do properly. And you can look at all the video games that were based off fighting games, live action movies, and they all sucked outside of one. 10, but they have done a lot of them We'll exclude Mortal Kombat. I'm talking about the original. I don't like the new one. I'm not even joking. And
what about Chris? What about the 4 animated Mortal Kombat movies? I thought a lot of them were pretty solid.
Yeah, well, I'm talking live action.
Oh, okay.
Live action, yeah. You had that. You had the Tekken live action movie. How did that do? Yeah, you had a King of Fighters movie. Fuck that movie. Okay, you had you had a Dead or Alive movie. Oh yeah, that was good, right? Like it was. They don't know how to do these right because everybody there's too many chefs in the kitchen and they don't know how to balance the source as well as that. And I'm still scared for this. I really wish they'd have just let Christian Howard and them continue because they actually knew what they were doing. It was really nice. I was like, okay, this really feels like they are paying homage to Street Fighter. And Christian Howard was a great Ken. He looked just like him. I was like, my God, they had him with the bushy eyebrows. Like, I was like, whoa, they really went. It was the details that mattered. So Momoa, I don't hate Jason Momoa, guys. I like Jason Momoa, but I'm not really feeling if they're gonna do this ethnicity swapping. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Then what the hell? Like, you're basically I have a problem with it, comic guy. I really do. Uh what up, bro? Been watching you since 2016. I appreciate that, Marvin. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Travis, you said, what are you eating? I was eating sweet and sour shrimp. Sorry, sorry. I don't mean to eat on camera, guys, but sometimes I need to. Uh Caroline, Lady Shiva and Yujiro. Been there, done that. Kick his ass. No, she's not kicking his ass. She's not gonna come near kicking Yujiro's ass. Yujiro will let her kick her, and he's just gonna stand there smiling at her. You don't know Yujiro. If you saying that, then you don't know Yujiro. This man will let you punch him, and he's just gonna stand there. But he would look at her and be like, "You're gonna bear me a child." He would do that. I'm not even joking. I hate to say it, but he would. Lady Shiva might get her legs broken. Let's see. You're not supposed to wear white on Labor Day, Chris. Who says? Who says?
Yeah, it's not even Labor Day.
Who says? Who says that? I can wear whatever I want. It's free country, right? Wear what I want.
To quote Seven Deadly Sins, who decided that?
Yeah. Hey Chris, I gotta go. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate it, Marion. Thank you. What do you think? Think Andy Bogart's student, Arturo. Oh, you're talking about from the new Fatal Fury. I haven't played it yet. I haven't played it, but I heard somebody told me like Andy has a new student there. Cool, great for Andy. Andy doesn't get enough credit. It's always Terry. It's Terry, Terry, Terry. So it's good for Andy. I need to check out that new Fatal Fury. Caroline, do you think Mach 1 and what did you think of Mach 1 and Songbird's relationship? I liked Abe and Melissa's relationship. I thought it was good from what they did in the first couple of runs of the Thunderbolt comics. It was really good. I enjoyed it very much. It grew. You saw it grow from because they were one of the two first members of the Thunderbolts that actually wanted to change. They wanted to turn to good. They didn't want to be labeled as villains all the time. It was always Abe. He was tired of being the Beetle. So what did he threw away the Beetle armor and made his first Mach 1 armor. And then of course he kept upgrading it to I think 8. I think he went up to 8. I can't remember. And Melissa
Mach 8.
Yeah.
And he stopped because he's like, I'm just gonna do a desk job now.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean they're living. I would I have loved to seen them in the movie? Yes, I would have, but I'm not gonna.
Apparently, that Fontaine's secretary, that's Melissa. That's Songbird.
The one that was talking to Bucky.
Yeah, that's supposed to. Yeah,
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Yo, that screaming Mimi? Hell no. Oh, come on. I look, and somebody even asked about the Thunderbolts. I will get to that. I'm gonna. Oh my god. Come on, man. Uh,
how do you think I feel?
Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna. Let's see. Could Red Hood and the Punisher work as a crossover? Yes. Yes, they could. And they probably team up. But
Hell, that's probably in the rotation idea.
yep. How do you feel about Ben Percy writing Punisher? I Both of us talked about it. Go watch our videos. I'm happy for that. For everybody. I said it before. I said it in my video. Look, they're friends that we all were saying he's gonna come back. Slow your tits down. He's gonna come back, and yeah, he's going back to basics. He's got the skull emblem. Everything is back. Frank is back. So and it's a red band. It's under the red band. So there you go. Fine. Ben Percy, perfect writer for him. Everything I've read, almost everything under Marvel that Ben Percy has written, and I've enjoyed everything. I loved his Wolverine run. I loved his short-lived Ghost Rider run, but Ghost Rider is just a very hard character to write most of the time, guys. Like, there's only so much you could do with him for a while. That's why you never really see a long standard like Ghost Rider run, modern Ghost Rider run. They almost always get up to maybe the 20th issue, and then that's it.
Yeah. I feel like the longest that was of modern was Jason Aaron's run way back when.
Yeah, that's probably it. But
Yeah.
he's an interesting character, but there's only so much you can tell with him that it starts to become okay. Like, okay, we get it. You're the spirit of vengeance. I get that, but what more can you? That's why, guys. I always say, like, for me, growing up, it was Dan Kench that was my Ghost Rider because he felt more like a superhero. Like, he had a rogues gallery, compared to Johnny, who didn't really have a rogues gallery. Dan, his brother. Well, we didn't even know they were brothers until later on, and I still feel that was kind of dumb too. But yeah, they're brothers, and it's just like, okay, he had a rogue. He felt like a hero, And I still love the Punisher Wolverine Ghost Rider crossover. It was a fun crossover. If you never read it, go read it. It was at the point where you could still tolerate uh Ramita Jr.'s artwork. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There you go. I'm sorry. But yeah, it was then, and it was Ghost Rider, Dan Kench, he was Ghost Rider, Punisher, and Wolverine, and they were fighting Blackheart in that. And later on, Mephisto came into it. So yeah, but it was fun. It's a fun crossover. Uh, what was something I wanted to touch on? I saw that. Oh, thoughts on Tekken 8's Faku Ram returning. Yeah, I saw that. That's cool to see him come back. You know, Faku Ram. I don't say that right. Yeah, it's cool to see Tekken's. Well, he's not because there was a Muay Thai fighter before, but he's a legit Thai Muay Thai fighter. So yeah, it's cool to see him back.
And they announced, just saying, Armor King is coming back.
Yeah, Armored King is coming back as well. So cool.
Who do you think, by the way, Chris? Who do you think is going to be the like? Because it's probably going to be like a guest character. Who do you think it is going to be coming in winter for this, like, as the special guest character or the new challenger for Tekken
8? I don't know. I really don't know. They could bring back Kakuma. It'd be kind of funny.
Who would you want to see?
Who would I want to see? No, I don't think he could work in Tekken. He is, to me, is the only guest character I want in a Mortal Kombat, and that's Kenshiro. So
Kenshiro, yeah. Yujiro?
Probably that would be kind of cool if they can talk to. I forget who owned Baki, but yeah, I would see that. Be funny to see Yujiro, want to fight fight Hachi or something. That'd be funny.
Um, yeah, Yujiro's kind of the top of the bar for me. I would say for another, and this is kind of a wild one, but remember, the creator of Tekken tried really hard to get Colonel Sanders as a guest character in Tekken.
Are you out of your mind?
I'm not joking.
What the hell? Okay, okay, all right.
And also, he wants Waffle House to be a stage.
Oh, come on.
So, I'm not. You can look this up, guys. It's true. Oh, it's true. Just to quote Kurt Angle right there.
Yeah, I would love for.
Well,
he's not dead. Abe is not dead in the comics. He's alive. He just got a desk job now. He's not doing his thing anymore.
Yeah. I would say Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe would be an interesting one.
That would be interesting. I would see what Snake Eyes and Yoshimitsu would do. That'd be funny.
Yeah. I was just kind of thinking out
No.
loud.
I hope we get Superman and Captain America crossover. You know how many years I wanted to see that? Like how that would have turned out. That'd be kind of cool. I would love to see that. Hail to the Commanders. Hey, thank you, Warhawk. I appreciate that. Also, here's a quick question. Do you want a new Punch Out game? Yeah. Who doesn't like Punch Out? Yeah, I would love that. With Mike Tyson back in it, it'd be cool. I hope to see Marvel crossover with Ninja Turtles next. I would love to see that. And the one I want to see the most is them and Daredevil.
Well, Kevin Eastman keeps saying before he retires, that's what he wants to do.
Yeah, I keep hearing that, and the whole thing is like they keep talking about them trying to really make it as if the ooze was the same radiation that blinded Matt, so they can connect it. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Everyone wants, Daredevil and the Ninja Turtles. You know what I want? Daredevil versus Shredder.
Yeah, that'd be cool. If Nightwing crossed over with Marvel with any Marvel character, who do you think you would like to see him cross over? Warhawk. Definitely Spider-Man. Definitely Spider-Man. I think Peter and Dick would get along really well, more than Peter and Bruce did. I could see Nightwing crossing over with a lot of the street level heroes. Like he would just be really cool with everybody. Him and Matt, I could see I could see him and Matt getting along really well. Like, okay, yeah, you're cool. You're cool.
Yeah. I would, just to have him and Daredevil, like, he's like, like Matt going, I met your boss, right? He's like, yeah, he's an acquired taste.
Yeah.
I think also, Nightwing and, like you said, Nightwing and Spider-Man would be good, but Nightwing and Moon Knight might be interesting.
That would be interesting, because I could see him like, man, who's this guy talking to? Like, is he talking? Who's he talking to? Like, hello, hey, you there? Like, I'm sorry, I'm just talking to myself. Or, well, I have a friend like you, or something like that. Like,
yeah. Although I would say, I think Moon Knight and Azrael, I kind of want a little more.
Who else? Nightwing and you know who else I could see? Nightwing and Black Cat crossing over. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, Black Cat, and and he's like, and she's hitting on him. He can say, I have a girlfriend, so or I'm just like, gotta keep it in the pants, Dick. Like, just keep it in the pants. I can see that. Yes, and shouts out to Stephanie Phillips. I think she's gonna be doing a new Black Cat ongoing series, where Black Cat's back to who she was, not the crime boss. So that's gonna be interesting to see as well. The first movie I recall doing the go to Earth trope was, this is from Mage Media Music, Beastmaster 2. Uh, yeah, they did do that in Beastmaster 2. They used a portal. It's called Beastmaster 2, the Portal of Time, and he went to Earth. Yeah, yeah, yes, he did do that. Yes, he did do that, and they didn't keep it in his world. So, and if I'm not mistaken, Uncle Phil was in that movie. If I remember correctly, yeah, he was in that film. So, yeah, it was weird. It was weird because he went to the real world or Earth, and they tried to take his animals. They tried to take Rue, his tiger. I think Sharak got away because he flew. He told him to fly, and he still had Kodo and Poto. So it was like, all right, I was like, crap. And yes, I love Beastmaster, guys. Yes, I do love the Beastmaster. Love the first movie. I watched all the movies, including the third one that had the late Tony Todd was in that one. Um, and I enjoyed the TV series too. I did enjoy that. I do, but when everybody always gets somebody who would win in a fight, Conan or Beastmaster, I always do. You're out of your mind. Like, are you out of your damn mind? I'm like, Conan is gonna win.
And the real fight we should be asking is Conan versus Tarzan.
Yeah. So, comic guy, do you know about the Solomon Kane comic? Yeah, I seen that. I seen Solomon Kane has a comic out under Titan Comics. Uh, when it comes out in trade, I'll probably check it out. Solomon Kane, of course, is another Robert E. Howard character, but gets kind of overshadowed by the barbarian. Let's put it like that. He does. He's always overshadowed by him. I watched that movie they did, and my God, oh God,
I used to think I liked that movie.
yeah.
But then I realized this is just this is literally the equivalent of Mother. Can we get Van Helsing? No, yeah. Son, we have Van Helsing at home, and this is Van Helsing at home.
Right. Caroline, you says Cassandra Kane is my girl. She's my heart. Cassandra Kane is great. Don't nobody's denying that. She is great. Let's see who we got here. Professor Xavier considered Magneto best friends. I guess. I guess you can. They are longtime friends, but their paths went a different way. Would you prefer sword wielders over gunslingers? I'm a sword guy. I like swords, guys. Can't rely too much on guns. Can't, but don't get me wrong. There are some characters that are just really good with guns, and they look great. But when it takes a lot of skill to use a sword, all you gotta do is pull the trigger of a gun. Like, I'm not even joking. uh, Superman faces off against a lot of characters. Who do you think? Wait. Superman faced off against a lot of characters who go for the kill and still wins. That's right. He does. That's what he said. Uh, hey kid, what's up, Multi? Enjoy the convo. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Uh, Me and my friend are making this the house the Loud House Tekken the story. Wait, what? Wait, hold on. What? Wait, hold on. You're making the Loud House Tekken. The story is that Lincoln Loud is Jin in the universe. What the hell? Good luck with that comic, God of Comics. I'm not even.
Yeah, sure, okay. Please just don't. All I ask is don't make it like a loud because I hate to be the bearer of bad news, Chris. There's a lot of fan fiction out there of Lincoln dating his sister. So as long as this doesn't have that, it'll be fine. Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
That's 90% of Loud House fan fiction is him just, sleeping with his sisters.
Oh, that's sick, man.
It's rough, buddy.
That's sick. Ugh. Let me see. Got a comics again. Kazuya versus Rock Howard. No powers, just fists. I'll give it a Kazuya. Rock is still young, and not as he's good, but he's not up there with Kazuya. Kazuya kill him. Yeah,
Yeah, Kazuya wins even without the devil gene.
yeah,
Like the dude literally survived being thrown off of like mountainside by his father at like the age of 5.
yeah. So
And on top of that, the dude literally walked up back that mountain with holding his guts inside of him.
yeah,
So I don't want to hear like, oh, Kazuya's nothing about the devil gene. He is beyond that.
yeah. Mage Media says I preferred Catch as Ghost Rider as well. Yeah, then I don't hate Johnny Blaze because when I was reading Ghost Rider, when Danny was the Ghost Rider, I would see this guy in there always chasing him, and I'm like, who's this Blaze character? Remember, mind you guys, I did not know about Johnny Blaze, so then I had to go back and read some of his. I'm like, oh, okay, so he was the first Ghost Rider and things like that. So and things like that, and then you find out more. Like their family is all tied to magic and stuff. Like, you ever heard of a character guys called Jennifer Kale? That's their cousin. Like, and she's like a mage and a witch in Florida. She rolls around with Man Thing a lot. You actually saw her in Agatha in the Agatha show. That's their cousin actually. Enjoyed the
I forgot she survived that.
yeah. I saw on Twitter who the post asked me kill to who would be harder to kill, Hiachi or Michael Myers? Who do you think would be harder to kill? Uh, well,
I can feel this one.
go ahead.
Hey Hachi.
Yeah, I was.
Because clearly we can't even keep him dead for 5
You
minutes.
can't exactly. I was just about to say Hiachi because guys, you remember in the I think it was the fifth one, they were advertising Hachima Shiba is dead. This dude got blown up, and then we actually see how he survived. I'm like, how the fuck that happened? I'm like, he got when all those Jack eights jumped on him, somehow that explosion jettisoned him out of the area. And not only did he fly and fall on a gravestone, which is solid marble, he lived. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding. I'm like, and then when we finally think he's dead, then they bring him. I'm like, my God, could y'all keep him dead for just a minute? It's like
also, I really hated the fact that like we added another member to the Mishima bloodline with an illegitimate daughter.
oh yeah, the girl. Yeah, I was talking to somebody about that too once. He's like, how does it feel that Hiachi had another illegitimate child? I was like, that's stupid because it's like, when did
Jesus, I didn't know Heihachi's real last name was McMahon.
yeah. Yeah, it's like, good God, like how many times? Like, yes, we know about Lars. Lars is an illegitimate son. It's like he's. I'm like, God damn! It's like, Hachi, can you keep it in your pants? Like, good God, it's like, man. And as I knew it was like, watch this girl be connected to them. I was like, oh my God. It was like,
you know what I was kind of hoping for when I was playing the story mode.
What?
I was kind of hoping that was Heihachi the whole time. Like he just basically put his mind in this girl's body.
Oh, he
like,
did a Ra's al Ghul. Oh God.
Well, I was gonna say like Orochimaru, but
yeah.
But like I've been like, all right, if you're gonna bring Heihachi back, at least you brought him back in like a neat way of like kind of like a soul transfer or something. So it's not like it's like a cake and eat it too, where it's like it's a new character, but it's still like Heihachi at his core.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Did
right.
I make any sense there?
I got it. Okay, this is definitely for you. This is up your alley. Could Kratos beat the Chaos Gods from Warhammer? That's you.
No.
There you go. There you go.
100% no. It's not even like a contest because like okay, the 4 Chaos Gods quite literally feed off of, negativity and like Korn alone feeds off of all the violence that Kratos would give. Um, there's nothing. There's nothing the Chaos Gods couldn't stop. Like Kratos could, and even if he could kill them, he basically kills an aspect of reality along with it. Like if he killed Korn, he basically has killed honor. If he killed Zinch, he's killed hope. If he kills Slanesh, he's killed love. If he kills Nurgle, he's basically killed the cycle of life. Do I make myself clear? I don't care about this goddamn argument because there is no argument. The Chaos Gods win.
Uh, Perry, Mage, you said Daredevil versus Shredder would be cool. Yes, that would be cool. It would be real cool. Perry, you ask, which movie are you more hyped for, Superman or Fantastic Four? Honestly, Fantastic Four. I'm a little more hyped for that because um we're gonna get a real Galactus in that. That's really what I want to see the most is Galactus. He's not a fucking cloud. He's a real giant that walks around. You actually see him. I'm excited for Superman too because this seems to go back to Golden Age Superman, and Silver Age Superman, which I like. And the last trailer was great. I enjoyed it, seeing that, and seeing him, Lois talk to him, kind of interview him, like, yeah, don't you think? And that's kind of the stuff Superman would say. Like, I wasn't trying to, people were gonna die. It was a war. I got to stop it. You know, I like that. I thought that was really cool for her to come at him like that. It was really
Yeah.
cool. I was like, okay, yeah.
And like on that, like I hate when people are like, "Oh, Lois is clearly still the bitch" in comics. So, like, no, I don't think anyone really understands Clark and Lois's relationship in that scene. Because here's the thing: Clark's the dreamer of the two of them. Lois is the realist.
Right.
So, and she's kind of cynical. That's what makes I think their relationship work so well. Is that Clark's the dreamer, he's the optimistic one. Lois is the cynic and the realist. So of course she would ask something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Now, for me, which am I more excited for? It's dude, it's a toss up between those two because the fact that we're getting like what looks to be the Fantastic Four movie we've been aching for years. But at the same time, every time I watch the Superman trailers, I kind of choke up.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm glad I've heard you actually say it more than anybody else I've seen read comments about it. But yes, whenever people were saying to me, it's just the classic music. No, it's not. It like that literally made me tear. I'm like, yo, I'm getting like, because the whole thing about it was, guys, that I think people don't understand is like Superman is supposed to represent what? Hope, right? And the last movies to me didn't feel like that. It really didn't. No offense to Henry Cavill, but this really feels like, okay, this is a Superman. He's trying to bring hope, and I'm not gonna lie, seeing Crypto, that also got me. I'm like, oh, look at this Crypto right there, like, and just seeing the kind of stuff in there is great. Like, and to see I'm just hoping this is a proper Mr. Terrific, and what I've seen so far, I'm like, yes, please just please don't give me no bullshit like we got in the Arrowverse. And so far, we haven't seen any. Like, he's like standing his ground. I'm like, yeah, that's great. I know people are getting on, Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, but look, yeah, look, Guy he's the dickhead, and he's supposed to act like that. Like, and people are just making up any excuse, like, oh, how'd he do that with the hand, and there was no construct. Did you see the ring light up and the construct? It's like, you're making up excuses. Like, stop. Like, y'all just want it to fail because y'all so butthurt over the fact that the Snyderverse is dead. Is dead, dead, dead. Get over it. Get over it.
Also, just real quick, hey, about the construct, it went underground and came out from under the ground. Did no one see the fucking beam?
That's what I'm saying. Like, people, the beam was right there. It's like, what's wrong with them? Like, it's just go ahead.
Yeah, and the fact, also, like, I think the moment that got me wasn't just the music. It was that moment where like Superman's fighting, like Clark is fighting that character, the Hammer or whatever he is. He's a new character for this movie. There's a moment where he's all busted up and he's just like, "Hey, eyes on me," and makes him like try to drive away. I'm like, "That's Superman."
Yes. Oh, when he said, "Hey, buddy, oh, eyes on me," and fly. Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, I'm going to fight this guy who caused thousands of billions of lives and billions of dollars of damage and like thousands of lives lost in a fight just because it looks cool. I'm actually going to try to drive the enemy away and try to lessen the damage, like Superman would do.
Yeah, I think that, and I also will add one more to it. It was the scene where the guy, when he fell, and the guy's like, Superman, he's picking him up, and it was like, yeah, that's what the city and citizens would probably do. Like he's trying to help, but yeah. And then don't get me started on, oh my God, the sun was hurting him. No, you fuckers, the sun was not hurting him. His body was being reconstructed. Did you not hear what they said? He had 40 or 20 something bones that were broken. So how would you feel if your bones were all broken up? Like he was being recharged by the sun and they were putting his bones back in place. You fuckwads. It's just because he's at nearly 9 and vulnerable does not mean he does not feel pain. He can feel pain, you nuts. It's like y'all stupid. It's like they always want to compare what Henry Cavill Superman was. Yeah, was he godlike? Yes, he was. Nobody is Superman godlike? Yes, but he can feel pain. Like Gunn is taking it back to old school. Kind of feels more like Gunn's taking it back to when John Byrne was writing Superman, where he kind of depowered Superman, made him feel not as godlike as he was. Huh? Dumbasses. Like, sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Like, people just want to ride. They just want to bury this movie because the Snyderverse is dead, and and so fuck all y'all. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I've kind of given up, and if you're still hating on it, then that's a you thing, my dudes.
Yeah. Loud House. I couldn't get into Loud House mostly because of the fandom. The Loud House is, yeah, if you're just watching it to watch it, then good, because I like Loud House. I think it's funny that he's got 11 younger sisters and he's the only boy. But if I never hear about the fanfics, I'm like, oh God, I don't need that. Could the Ghost Rider Penance Stare work on Frieza? Penance Stare can work on anybody. Okay,
Yeah.
let's just put it like that. It can work on anybody.
Let me put it into perspective. It fucked up Galactus.
Yeah, it fucked up Galactus. So yeah. Nib Free. Hey, what's good, Danny? I haven't heard from you in a while. Hiachi is clearly superhuman to survive all that shit. Yeah, they just need to come out and say that. Let's see. You guys excited for the Avatar Aang movie next year? You Avatar Aang movie. Is that the animated stuff that's coming out?
Yeah, that's the animated movie.
Yeah, I am looking forward to that.
It's supposed to be like the sequel to it's like the bridge in between the original show and Korra.
Oh, okay, yeah, that I am, because when I would watch Legend of Korra, guys, and they would show like Aang older and all them, I was always like, I want more of that. Like I was like, I want more. I want to see that, and so yeah, I am excited. Three-way match between Punisher, Rorschach, and John Wick. Uh, let's see. I think
Rorschach's going out first.
Yeah, Rorschach's definitely going out first. It's gonna come down to Frank and John, and the only way I can see Frank is good, but John is like crazy when it comes to like close quarters. That's it. Frank would have to keep it long distance, because if he doesn't, yeah, they get close, it's over. Hey, is that Mr. Multiverse? Yes, it is, Danny. uh, what if the diamonds from Steven Universe became Chaos Gods? That's
that's not how this works.
Yeah, there you go. That's your forte. If they do a Ninja Turtles crossover and Tekken, who would be the villains if they make it? The Mishiba family. There you go. Hachi for sure. I'm not worried about this Superman movie. I'm worried the Superman movie will be too crowded. Uh, Crowded with what? You mean with characters? If that's what it is, then the reason why we're seeing all these characters because Gunn wants you to. He wants us to remember that this world is full of those heroes, and Superman is the new the characters that she like Hawk Girl and Mister Terrific and all. They've been around already. Superman is the new kid on the block, so he wants you to feel that way.
Well,
But
isn't it supposed to be that Clark's been around for at least 5 years?
I think so, yeah, or something. But he's still like the new blood compared to everyone else. Um, and that's fine. And the fact that we're getting him fighting like giant monsters is cool. I'm like, okay, he's fighting monsters. I'm still wondering who the guy that that guy he's fighting in the stadium. I'm like, because people keep saying that's Ultraman. I'm like, how are they
Yeah,
doing that?
it was confirmed through toys that that's Ultraman.
It is Ultraman. Oh my god.
And apparently, like, it's supposed to be this version's Ultraman, but he's supposed to be like a clone of Superman, and he devolves into Bizarro.
Oh. I'll see how they play that out.
Yeah, I'm more confused as like engineers working for Luthor. So I'm wondering, does Lex create the Authority in this universe?
Yeah, because they're supposed to be doing Authority. Yeah. Um. And guys, yeah, we did. If anybody doesn't, Multi and I, we actually listened to Nicholas Holt talk about Lex and everything, and at MegaCon, we actually sat down and watched him talk. He was very interesting. It was fun to listen to him talk about how he played Lex and everything like that. And
also thanks to toys, we know Lex is going to get the power armor.
oh, that's cool. That's good. I'm definitely excited for Superman, but I'm really freaking Warner Brothers. Okay, okay, Caroline. Yeah, we know why. Yes, you're still upset about the
Caroline.
Batgirl. Yes, I know.
Caroline, because she brings this up on my channel too. We get it.
Yes, we get it.
Okay, every time.
Yes.
Every time we do a video about Warner Brothers, you just have to talk about. We don't like it either, but it's been in over 2 years. Yeah. Let it go.
Yeah, it's is. I know. I get it. Anything you guys hope for Wonder Woman? Yeah, I'm looking forward to hopefully what they do with Wonder Woman. And who they cast. For Wonder Woman. I know they're doing that. I know they still got that series called The Mascara or Parasite Island or so, but in terms of who is going to play Diana, if they do it, is interesting. Um, I still feel that Gunn is going to use a lot of the old, old actors that were in the Snyderverse. I mean, look, Momoa is going to play the guy he was supposed to play. He's going to play Lobo. He's going to play Lobo finally. So I'm sure he may find something to do with Gal in the new. But if he wants to build Diana back up, that's fine. All
my,
I'm
my only request is, obviously it's probably not going to be an origin movie for Diana. All I ask is, can Cersei be the villain?
Yes.
And also, we can have if we can do multiple villains in a Superman movie, I'd say Cersei, Giganta, and like Dr. Psycho all in one movie.
Yeah. I want, you know what I mean, guys. I want Cersei. Yeah, she was in Creature Commandos, but I want to see Cersei's in in a live action, and Giganta would be cool. I would love that. What would be your pitch for Mortal Kombat 13? I have no idea right now. I have no idea what to go with Mortal Kombat right now. Sorry, Perry.
I would say enough of the multiverse stuff.
Yeah, I will agree with that one. Nib, you say the Blue Beetle movie was the closest we were ever going to get to a Hollywood Common Rider movie. Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yes, and I actually liked the Blue Beetle movie. It was not bad. It was not bad. I enjoyed that, and he will be back.
Actually, I saw that and I liked it. I'm glad James Gunn is saving Blue Beetle.
Yeah, he said he's coming back. Mage, you asked, the constructs don't have to be tailored to the ring. It's just exactly. There you go. You see, you're a man who knows your stuff. Music lover. Hey, Chris. How are you? I was wondering, did anyone ever make it off your FE hits list? I don't know. Or on my flight home from a European vacation with my family. Congrats. I watched Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom for the first time ever, and it was good. Have you seen it already? And so, do you like it? I prefer the first one more than the second one. Because I really didn't care too much for what they did with the whole Manta got possessed by the Black Triton. I'm like, oh, I didn't care all that, but that first movie was great. I liked that, and I was fine with that. But this second one, I really didn't care too much for. It just felt like it was rushed, and of course, all this nonsense that Amber Heard was going through, I didn't really care. At first, I mean, the beginning, I enjoyed, like, Manta getting revenge because that's he was getting revenge for his dad. Yes, but when they started bringing in the possession stuff, that kind of threw me off. I was like, I don't like that. Uh, you got anything to say?
Oh no, I'm good.
Okay, okay. I don't think Snyder did a good job with Sue. You damn right he didn't. Yeah, I'm sorry. You damn right there, which is a shame because Cavill was a good pick for Sue. Nobody ever denies Cavill's performance as Superman. He just had bad material. Snyder's point of view is everything has to be dark and this and that. But it's like he was just saying, "Well, fuck y'all. I don't care what this is what Superman would do." No, like there's a reason. Okay, here let me explain. Let me give you a good example. There's a reason for why my generation and the generation before me, we kind of bow to Christopher Reeves as Superman because he really was that character. He really understood what that character meant and how to play it. You know, and Brendan Roth was not a bad Superman either. Just he was just in a bad movie. It's like how I always say about Andrew Garfield. Not a bad Spider Man, just had a bad movie. He just was Spider Man at the wrong time. And that's Cavill. He was just Superman at the wrong time, and it's sad because he got pushed aside. And they whose dick did they ride up on? Batman, right? Like his movie, he didn't even get a proper sequel. He got stuck in the gotta have Batman in there. And as much as I didn't care for it, but I will say Ben Affleck is the best fighter Batman. He was the best. Like you literally saw everything he did, and he really felt like a fighter. Like he's the best fighter Batman. No Batman has come close, including Michael Keaton. He has not. And then of course, then you look at how many of y'all really watch Flash for Flash? You watched. Don't sit there and tell me y'all didn't just watch that just to see Michael Keaton. And what happened to him? He died. There you go. Like yes, people went to see that movie for Michael Keaton, not for that dumbass Miller, whatever his name is. Fucker should be in jail for the shit he pulled. Fuck him. So sorry guys. I'm sorry. Like I Ezra Miller pisses me off sometimes. He does pisses me off. Superman is godlike, yes, but he can be beaten and killed. Yes, he can. Hiachi versus Geese Howard versus Rachel Ghoul. No weapons. Ghoul is getting ripped up. Either they gonna say, "Oh, you can't die, but we can rip you apart in pieces." There you go. And it'll come down to Geese Howard and Hiachi. There you go. Muscle Man versus Muscle Man versus Shrek in an arm wrestle match. That's
You know
funny.
who else can
Yeah,
arm wrestle an ogre?
yeah.
My
My
mom.
mom. Let's go, bro. I get that shit funny. Uh,
You don't understand, Muscle Man.
yeah.
This is my swamp.
This is my Jack.
Oh no, bro.
Yeah, new bro. Jack
I'm about
Quaid.
to teach you. Shrek is love. Shrek is life. Switching between those voices is really hard to do.
Exactly. Jack Quaid looks like the closest to a real life Max Payne from the original game. Oh yeah, yeah, he kind of does. Jack Quaid does look. You would have to dye his hair, but yeah, he kind of does. And you know who looks just like their father? Lewis Pullman. My God, he looks just like his dad. I'm like, he looks just like his dad. It's crazy. And I saw
Yeah.
that.
Same with Scott Eastwood.
Yes, and I saw that comic guy. Yes. Okay, yes. Did I like the Thunderbolts? Yes, that was a deep movie. And they went there with a lot of stuff, which is very, very interesting. I did not expect them to go the places they went, but then when they kind of announced that Sentry was in there, I was like, okay, they're probably gonna go real dark with that. And bravo to Marvel. You got me to like a character that I fucking hate. I don't, but the version of the character you gave us, I actually liked. And I actually like how they did the void in that. That was really cool. I was like, okay, he's just this black silhouette. You see his eyes a little bit, and he turns. I was like, okay, that's actually cool. And they even got me to cry when that little girl got, oh no, you bastard. I was like, oh shit. Now, having said that, as much as I like the movie, I don't like what they did with the ending. Okay, that is not an Avengers team. That right, I'm like, no. I'm like, no, no, no. That's why when they said Sam copyrighted the name, it was like he's not having it. I was like, yeah, he shouldn't, because I'm like, I'm looking at that team and I'm like, you out of your mind? Like, really? Like, no way. Like, first of all,
Yeah.
you got too many super soldiers on that team. There's no heavy hitter because the only heavy hitters on there can't really go because he said, like he said, if I become the center, then the void's going to be coming with me. Okay, and you got Yelena, who's not. She's just skilled, and you got the Ghost. And I'm looking at that, and I'm like, okay, that's not an Avengers team. That's not. So it does make me wonder: are they going to build up to Sam's team and that team? Like, what the hell? Like, yo, what are you doing? Like,
don't. I think we can guess from the cast of Doomsday of who Sam's Avengers team is.
Yeah, it probably will. But
we got Scott Lang, Thor. We have Suri and Shang-Chi.
Yeah, definitely, probably. But like I said, I didn't. I knew like Val was gonna do something. Like, and I'm like, what is she doing? I'm like, and I was like, okay, you smart bitch, you smart. I was like, okay, but I do like what Yelena said. We own you now. I'm like, yeah, yeah, they got you now. So, and then you saw the Fantastic Four shot. That was cool. I was like, oh, okay, here we go. But yeah, it was tough because I know a few people that kind of went through kind of the stuff that Yelena went through. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, okay, she's really grasping with things. And then you got Red Guardian. Somebody asked me once, do you like this interpretation of Red Guardian? Somewhat. I wish he was more like his comic version, and I wish he had his shield, but he didn't. And every time I see him, David Harbour as Red Guardian, I'm like, man, I would love a prequel of him, and we see like the Winter Guard or something. Like, I would love to see that, but when you bring a character like that, I'm like, ugh. And then I remember when I went to the theaters, guys, to see Thunderbolts, and this guy was sitting next to me, and I said to him, I said, in the comics, he's Natasha, his ex-husband, and he looked at me like I was crazy. He was like, ew. I was like, yeah. Well, I was like, yeah, that was his. He was married to her once. I was like, it's funny. It's funny when nobody who doesn't know the comics and you tell them stuff, their reaction is funny to me. I always find that funny. The funniest shit.
Yeah. Did you, by the way, hear the Spider-Man news that Hulk's going to be in it?
And what?
The new Spider-Man movie.
Really? Oh shoot! What?
Yeah. So yeah, carrying on the tradition of Spider-Man being a Marvel team-up movie almost. So Mark Ruffalo in the movie. Oh boy, I can't wait for more nerfed Hulk.
Yeah, yes, yeah. They're probably yeah.
I swear to God, Chris, if they have a Spider-Man villain beat the Hulk in a fight,
Yeah,
I'm done.
yeah.
I'm so
I get. I. It's funny. Oh boy. What is your favorite Smiling Friend episode? Smiling Friend. What? What's that? I don't know what that is.
it's an Adult Swim cartoon.
Oh Jesus. I haven't watched it yet, so don't ask me. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really it's fine, Caroline. I thought of this called Steven Universe Year One, where Steven is the new hero of the block and teaming up with characters from Ben 10, Randy, Jenny, Danny, and Kim story wise, like the Superman movie.
God, I hate when people are trying to copy off of what me and Jason are doing.
Oh boy.
Like, I understand that we don't, it's fan fiction, we don't own it, but like, guys, come on, be a little more original.
Perry King says, "Please, Mr. Gunn, give us a Plastic Man." I would love Plastic Man. I love Plastic Man.
I'm shocked that wasn't in his rotation.
Yeah, I love Plastic Man. Plastic Man. If you are asking me like characters, who's your favorite character with elastic powers? Plastic Man, because he makes elastic powers fun. He really does.
Did you know, Chris? By the way, that after the Scooby-Doo movies, Gunn was going to make a Plastic Man movie with Matthew Lillard.
Matthew Lillard. Oh wow, that would have been interesting.
I think that's I could still see Lillard as Plastic Man.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah. Hey Chris, what X Files crossover would you want to see? X Files and Disney Channel, and the Disney Channel show so weird would be. Wait, what? What Disney Channel show? I don't know.
Well, I think because X Files is coming to Marvel.
Oh, okay.
And it's going to be written by Jonathan Hickman.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool.
And he did say they were going to do crossovers, so that tells me, it's going to be X Files Alien.
Probably, yeah. Warhawk Remo. Henry Cavill is rumored to be Connor McLeod in the Highlander reboot. No, he's not rumored. He is. He is attached to the. He is attached to the reboot. I'm looking forward to it. I love the original Highlander movie, and after that, everything goes to shit. I enjoyed the series with Adrian Paul, but I think it was time. And I'm not the biggest reboot, but with Highlander, it was time for a reboot because I finally found a. I actually, guys, I actually found a video on YouTube where actual Scottish people were watching Highlander, and I was like, oh my god, and I wanted to see it so bad, and I sat down and watched it, and they were laughing their asses off at the fact that they got a French American playing a Scottish man, and a Scottish man playing a Spanish or Egyptian. It's the funniest thing. If you go back and watch Highlander the first one, it's funny as hell. It's like, wait, he's Christopher Lambert is French American and Sean Connery is Scottish. And it's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing. It's so weird. And then after that, they just ruined it with those other movies. They really did. They ruined it where they started saying that they're from different planets and stuff. I'm like, what the fuck? It was like the stupidest shit they did. That's why I tell people don't watch no more after that. You want to watch, go watch Highlander, the first movie, and then watch the TV series. And don't watch the source. Don't watch that.
Also watch the cartoon.
Yes, and a cartoon. But after that, don't watch nothing else because they ruined it with the movies. The movies, the other sequel movies, they ruined it. Also, who should be the Kurgan? I think a big guy should play the Kurgan, play him. Yeah, let's see. I if it was me, I'd probably get Dave Bautista to play him
You know,
because
it was kind of my thought too.
yeah, Dave Bautista can act, okay, and Dave is becoming a really good actor. Um, and like you would need somebody big like that, like but I'm sure and he's trimmed down more now because he's not wrestling anymore. He don't need that much weight on him. And but yeah, but Dave Batista probably could do it. He probably would do it. If they put the Kurgan in it. I hope Gunn gives us Brainiac for the sequel. He better. I want Brainiac. I want Brainiac. I need Brainiac. I need that. I know they yes, you bring Lex in, okay, but you gotta do Brainiac. You gotta do him sometime, and it'd be great to see. Let me see. Biggest gripe with the DCEU is that there were no clear narrative structures with the films. Each of these films felt disconnected and not really built towards anything. That's true. That is kind of true. That is true. It yes, they all had their own stories, and that's not a bad thing. But yeah, they at that point in time, they were still trying to do the Marvel thing and have their movies connected, and it didn't work. It didn't
Yeah.
work at all.
Now, I will say that's one of my fears with James Gunn's movie because, like, it's not like we had a set plan, but that now it's like we got a Clayface movie and we got a movie about Jason and Dick as before they were Robins, out of nowhere. Like
Right.
that wasn't part of the original plan, and also like I feel like it was kind of haphazard to like go from the Snyderverse into the James Gunn universe with just like, oh, but we're still using stuff from Suicide Squad and like the Blue Beetle can come too. Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, because you still got like in Suicide Squad, you still got this. They didn't get a new cast member for Viola Davis is still playing Amanda Waller and things like that. But yeah, he is taking like bits and pieces of the Snyderverse and just they also are built into different chapters. This is called Gods and Monsters, and so you know to a degree I get it, and they still haven't even announced who's playing Batman and Brave and the Bold. Um, so yeah, we still got to wait for that. Uh, and see where. But for me, I've said it before, guys. I'm still looking forward to that Swamp Thing movie. That's really what I want to see. Swamp Thing get his time to shine again because that series was not bad. You guys remember that the Swamp Thing series where that was not bad, and I just wanted to be. They say it's gonna be like dark, and I'm cool with that. Uh, wait, what? Thoughts on Indiana Jones taking on the Major from Hell? That would not work. Uh, no,
Yeah.
that would not. No, that would not work, Hunter. Uh, at all. Do you think Bane will be a great villain for Jin? No.
No.
Do you think David Harbour? Do you think David Harbour, good actor for Zangief? Hell no. No, hell no. No, he's not. He ain't big enough. He is not big enough to play Zangief at all. Um, what's the biggest cash? What the biggest cash out of Doctor Doom for crash out for Doctor Doom for me when Johnny ruined his wedding? Yeah, I mean he made Johnny pay for that too. Like the funniest thing about that was his wife basically said, I can't lie, I slept with Johnny, and and Namor is just laughing in the back, like I'm like, oh my god, like because he knew what was coming. He's like, and then Johnny knew he fucked up too. He's like, oh shit. And that's one as much as y'all know me, I love Johnny, but one of the things that always is something I don't like about Johnny is he still acts way too mature for his age. He's a grown fucking man at times. and it's like he's still doing immature shit like that. I'm like, yo, what the hell? Like, what, Johnny? Like, chill. Like, and what happened? He couldn't turn his fire off. That was the punishment for what he did, and it made him. It's I don't blame him because he had to stay away from everybody. Like he was just burning hot all the time, and so. But yeah, John. Those are the things I don't like about John. Is like his immaturity sometimes is like, dude, like why'd you do that? Like I even said, I'm like, why'd you do that, Johnny? Like you knew this girl was getting married. What the fuck you go sleep with? Like what? Like yes. So yeah, that was dumb, and that was dumb of Johnny. But that panel, just seeing Namor laughing was the funniest thing. It cracked me up. It cracked me up. I was like, look at Namor just cracking up laughing.
Yeah, I would say for me, one of Doom's biggest crash outs is in the Christopher Cantwell Doctor Doom comic,
Mm-hmm.
and in there, he's like talking to Reed when he's got this whole moon base thing figured out, and him and Reed just start having this back and forth, and he just immediately starts freaking out because he's like, he thinks Reed's mocking him. He's like, no, I'm not, Victor. He's like, yes, you are. And then he ends up in another universe where he's saved the world. And keep in mind, he has the ultimate nullifier with him. And basically, this other universe version of him, basically tells him, look, the only way you're going to be this good and rule the world is if you forgive Reed Richards. And Victor goes, nah, fuck that, and use the ultimate nullifier to destroy that universe.
Oh. Let's see. Highlander TV show was good, and I know about the yes. Will Multi ever do more pitch ideas for rides? That's you. I think they're talking to Action You.
Pitch ideas for rides. I mean, maybe. I haven't really thought of like ride ideas lately. I've thought about especially with Epic Universe, I've thought of expansion ideas for that, but for rides separately, I mean, never say never, you know?
Am I the only one that thinks the Predator versus Spider-Man is arguably the weakest of the Marvel versus crossovers? Because there's not much. Well, don't spoil it because I haven't read it. I have not read. Don't spoil nothing, Rakai. I want to read it. I have. Not, I'm not reading it in single issues. I read it in trade. Don't spoil that.
The Black Panther one was pretty weak, though.
Yeah, that one was kind of weak. The Black Panther one was kind of weak. I hope James Gunn gives us Superman versus Darkseid. I'm not rushing to Darkseid. Don't rush to Darkseid. You don't need to rush to him.
We don't need Darkseid just yet.
No. I enjoyed Multi's pitch video for a Child's Play ride.
Child's Play. You did I do a Child's Play ride?
Oh my god. Did you hear the rumor that a new RoboCop movie with Peter Weller? Dude, really? He's too old. He's too old. No, I don't mean that disrespectfully. Like he's just too old to be doing that. No. And you should be saying Dr. Peter Weller. He's got his doctorate now. He's doing good writing books too. So a crossover I would love to see: Indiana Jones and the Shadow. Interesting.
That wouldn't be bad.
Interesting. Yeah, I think it would have to take some reason. Maybe Dr. Jones is and Sifu Khan wanted something, and so yeah, and the Shadow gets involved. Who is the biggest asshole, Damien or Benson? I'm going with Damien. Fuck Damien. That little shit. Disney clearly favors its animated movies than its animated shows. To agree, depends. Yeah, I would say maybe. Yeah, depends. Yeah. Hey, Chris, have you seen the Lilo and Stitch movie? No, I have not. And do not spoil it. I still want to see that. Don't spoil it.
Just skip it, man.
Have you seen Mission Impossible? No, I have. Don't spoil that either. Do not spoil any movies for me, guys. I have not watched the Mission Impossible. I definitely want to see it. I'm happy for Tom Cruise. He actually finished the franchise. It only took him 29 years.
Yes. Yeah, the only time that he was faster on ending a franchise was the Dark Universe.
Yeah. I think Superman is going to make more money than box office. I hope so. Stitch versus Pikachu. Stitch. Stitch will kill him. Yeah, there we go. So yes, I'll agree with that. Yeah. What else you? uh, uh, favorite favorite horror movie of the year so far. Well, he's seen more horror movies than me. That's your forte.
Sinners.
Yeah, I would put Sinners up there. Yes.
Yeah, Sinners is a. It's. I mean, there's obviously more movies to go. I mean, in a few weeks we're gonna have the 28 days later movie.
Yeah.
But it's Sinners. Like that is my not just best horror movie. That's best movie of the year so far.
Let's see what. T1000 versus RoboCop. T1000 would kill RoboCop. Uh, he's more advanced. Bruce and Tony would not like each other. Hunter. Not really. I think there would be a lot of ego involved, especially on Tony's side. Uh, no doubt about it. Uh, Michael Myers versus Jason. I hope we get that movie. I don't. Don't need to see that. I seen a fan film of it, and it went exactly the way it should have went. Jason killed Michael Myers. So yeah, there you go. Comic Guy Axe's Sinners was great. Yes, it was. It was really good. I could talk all day about that movie if I wanted to, and it was really good. It made you. I once again, it fell into the category. Uh, Ryan Coogler did exactly what a lot of what Stephen King has always talked about. You have to make the audience like your characters. And that was one thing that he did very well in that movie. There was not one character in that film that I hated. I did not hate any character in that. So when they were either dying or getting bit, or likewise, yeah, I was like, oh shit, like oh man. And what I also thought was interesting about the film was um like they focused on the fact that you get bit anywhere and you turn like that was, because if you look at it, and I'm sure people say like how did Mary turn? She got bitten on her shoulder. She didn't get bit on her neck. You saw the bite mark there. I was like, oh, that's interesting. But it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. When she got shot, she just ran out. I'll see y'all later. I was like, like the funniest thing. That cracked me up. But yeah, Sinners was great. And for me, guys, why it was also great for me because it was a period piece. I love horror. I love horror period piece. Like I love horror movies that are in on a certain period, and to see them in the 1930s and things like that was really cool. And I loved how they built up. They kept the lore of you have to invite the vampire in. They can't walk in. And I think a lot of modern movies forgot about that. That is your one power over them. They can't just come in. They got to be invited in. So I like that, and I like they played that up, especially when you saw with Cornbread, Omar Miller's character. He he couldn't, and they were just like, why can't you just walk your big ass up here? You've been coming in all day. Like, ain't nothing, something not right. Like, exactly. And him trying everything just to get them to come out, invite him was the funniest thing too, because I'm like, yeah, you're not, it's not working. And then you just saw it later on. You saw that when he tried to bite. It was the funniest thing. But I love Sinners. Sinners was great. That was I was not that surprised, even though it was a Ryan Coogler movie, but I was just how surprised how good it was. Were they the strongest vampires? No, they were not. They were not. But it was still fun to watch. It was a great movie. I think my brother saw it more times than me. He actually saw it multiple times. And the music was great. The If you're into the blues and all that, go watch it. That was great. But it was just like
Yeah.
like Multi said, it's just an all around great movie. It is just a great movie, and I don't care what color you are, you'll love the movie regardless. You got anything to add to that?
No, the soundtrack I need to get on a actual vinyl
Yeah.
record.
There. Let's see. There's an animated movie coming to Netflix called K-pop Demon Hunter. If you, I saw that. I'm actually interested in watching that.
Yeah, it's a Sony film they gave to him, and I'm like, it's from the animators of Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I am interested in watching that, Caroline. Yep, I definitely will watch that. Living in the Lord of the Rings universe and the Star Wars would be the worst thing. Uh, the Star Wars, I would kind of like that a little bit. There's a part of me that depends on what era we're talking about, but yeah. And the Lord of the Rings, I wouldn't live in there. No way. Let's see. If
Really? Because I feel like it would be marginally safer to live in Lord of the Rings than Star Wars.
yeah, maybe. Very, yeah, maybe, yeah. Would you, if they did a Freddy versus Jason movie, got a sequel? Why? I don't care. I really, I'm no offense. I don't care for a sequel to Freddy versus Jason. I can think of many crossovers with the Shadow. Example, the Shadow and Bacano. Oh, wait, yeah, Shadow has. I can see Shadow crossing over with a lot of characters, and it would just be cool to see the Shadow. Like one of my biggest crossovers, I would love to see is Shadow and Daredevil, and just him knowing that Matt's Daredevil, and just him just walking away. Be like, yeah, I know who you are. I know. And just walk away. Uh, have you seen the Japanese Hong Kong collaboration film Blood Fight with Bolo Yun? It's so bizarre, but damn, it's entertaining. I need to put that on my list. Thank you, Rakai.
What
Uh,
movie?
it's a movie called Blood Fight with
Huh.
Bolo Yun. I definitely. Do you remember Kung Fury? Yeah, there's another one coming out. There's a sequel. So yes, I am looking forward to that. Black Widow versus Nina Williams. Goodbye, Nina.
Yeah.
Nina, Black Widow, no contest. That's right. People tend to forget Black Widow is a super soldier herself. Forget what you've seen in the MCU. Black Widow has two different formulas in her. She has a version of a Russian super soldier serum in her, and then she has the Infinity formula in her, which keeps her young. People tend to forget Black Widow is older than she looks. She was born around the 1930s. So I think I've told this story, guys, many times. Like, what would have been so cool is in Captain America: Winter Soldiers when they're in the secret base and Armin Zola was talking to them, and you saw it, and he was rounding off like Rogers, Steven, born such and such, and then he said Natasha Romanoff, and he would have said born such and such, and I would have loved to see Steve's face when he looked at her like, wait, what? And then she was like, it's complicated. That would have been so funny to me. Like, yeah, Natasha is older than she looks, and she has a super soldier serum in her as well. People don't know that or don't remember.
We can't overcomplicate things with a common audience, Chris.
Right. Could we get Dracula versus Nosferatu?
I mean, they're both public domain. Have at it.
Yeah, it probably could, yeah.
Yeah. No, really, they're both public domain characters. You can do that.
I mean, that's true because there's a comic that I saw on Kickstarter, guys, called Popeye the Sailor Kaiju Hunter. I was like, okay, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna
Yeah,
back.
that's a comic I would read. That
I said, yeah, I'm
I'm
gonna
like,
back this. I'm gonna back this. Oh, yo, that caught me. I was like, what? Uh,
yeah. There. Did you, by the way, check out the Kickstarter for the Kolchak the Night Stalker crossover comics?
I missed it. I missed it. I saw that. I was like, oh, I missed it. Yeah, I remember that show. That was
Yeah, it was like David Desmelchin and Rodney Barnes were working together on the book.
yeah. Uh, do you remember Ronald McDonald videos on YouTube? The funny ones. Are you talking about the ones with Waka Flocka and all them? Yeah, those are weird. Spawn versus the Shadow crossover. No, I don't want no Spawn. Uh, you know why? Because you McFarlane would write it and be like, "Yeah, well, you can't do this." Thoughts on a crossover where the cast of Gravity Fall and Ash Williams takes on the tall man from with the
Phantasm.
Phantasm. Okay, I was trying to see. Yeah. Uh,
Sure.
sure. Yeah, sure. I get it. I don't know how you would do it, but I want a Samurai Jack Ninja Turtles crossover. I'd love that. How about a Samurai Jack and Usagi Jimbo? There you go. How about that one?
I mean, yeah, that would make that's more logical sense.
Hmm.
I think like it'd be better than the Power Rangers Usagi Yojimbo crossover. I forgot up until right now that was a thing, and I own that comic.
Yeah. Does Marvel always win, and should they always win because they're Marvel? Because I think there's a lot of characters from other verses, not DC, that can beat Marvel. Aunt May's cookies aren't that good. What the hell?
What psychotic rambling mess was that, dude? I don't know what you're on, my dude, but like puff puff give.
But I did read a Agatha Harkness and Aunt May team up, which was just weird. But I was like, okay, like that was pretty funny. Yes, Agatha Harkness and Aunt May crossover they did.
Okay. Yeah, there is actually okay. That's from the J. Michael Jasinski one shots. That
Uh
was
huh.
also a backup story for the Hulk and Doctor Strange comic, which I've not picked it up, probably because like the JMS one shots have just been mid at best. But I keep getting them because I'm a fucking idiot apparently. But yeah, I'm just like, well, the Ghost Rider Galactus one is next. Then it ends with Spider-Man versus the Sinister 16.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck that is. But yeah, I've already got like 4 of them. They're all mid, but I guess I'm completing the set.
Complete the set.
Why am I so fucking stupid? I should have stopped. I should have stopped after the Captain America and Volstagg one. I really should have.
If Bruce Campbell returned to play Ash Williams. Oh, happy birthday to Bruce Campbell. He turned 67. I think it was yesterday or one of those days. Wait. But it was a sequel to Freddy versus Jason. What? Wait, what? Wait, that I no.
Wait, what was the question?
Hold on. What the hell was that? Okay. Um, if Bruce Campbell returned to play Ash Williams, but it was a sequel to Freddy versus Jason.
That was supposed to happen.
That was that he wasn't
Yeah.
making that. Oh, okay. Because I remember hearing
Yeah.
him talk about it, but then I was like, he gotta be making that. He's just Bruce Campbell. Something you can't trust that guy.
Yeah, Freddy versus Jason versus Ash was meant to be a real thing, but it went into development hell, and then the script became the comic book.
I do want to point out that in the original run of the X Files, they did try to do a Kolchak Nighthawker crossover episode. They did? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember that. They did try to do that. Did you see the episode where like the character of Detective Munch shows up? in an episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Apparently, that actor, I can't remember his name, but he owned the rights to that character, so he could just show up wherever.
Richard Belzer.
Yeah, Richard Belzer owned the rights to that character, so he could just show up wherever as that character.
Yeah. But I could wait. All right. Do you want to see Turtles and Thundercats crossover? Ooh. I- for nostalgia purposes, yes, but it would have to be a reason for why they're crossing over to to a sense. I mean, hell, we're getting a Fantastic Four Gargoyles crossover. Okay, just put
And
it
I
out
mean,
there.
Turtles are crossing over with He-Man.
Yeah, and Turtles are cross. Yeah, so I wouldn't mind it. You know, it just would have to make a little sense. Thoughts on Justice League taking on the Decepticons? Goodbye, Decepticons.
Yeah.
Okay. If Helsing and Hellboy had a crossover, ooh, that would be interesting. Hellboy and Helsing crossover, very. I can dig that. I would dig that. You have to have the right person to write it, though. Uh,
Yeah.
let me see. Has we dropped the ball on? Okay, this is up. This is my forte. Okay, Rant Warhawk asks, has WWE dropped the ball on John Cena's heel turn? Yes, he has. Yes, it is. It's terrible. Okay, yes, it is. It's not what I thought it was gonna be. It's terrible. He's not a good bad guy. He's not. It's just weird. It's just
Well, I may not be the biggest wrestling guy, but you know why that is, right?
why.
Because The Rock ruined the whole thing.
Right. Okay. So you're kind of up to, yeah. It's just not there. I'm not liking it, Warhawk. It's just get the belt off him. Just turn him face again. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from what I understand, The Rock, when he came in back to WWE, um, it was supposed to be Cody versus Rock, but Rock demanded to be like this big end game boss, like
Yeah. He calls
the
himself the final boss. Yeah.
yeah, the final boss, and they were like scrambling like to change the story, so that's how they got to John Cena being the opponent for Cody.
Yeah, because basically what happened was they did this whole story where Rock came back for Cody, and he's basically telling Cody, "I want your soul." That's what he kept saying, "I want your soul," and Cody said no, and he said, "Go fuck yourself, Rock." He literally said, "Go fuck yourself," and then he basically like signaled to Cena. He did a cutthroat. He's like, "Take him out," and then it looked like something was gonna go there, and then it just didn't. Then Rock left, and then it was dumb. It's just stupid.
Yeah, that's the other thing is that he literally like Rock literally left the WWE with with the bag essentially.
Yeah, that's what it is. He left. We had everything was still focused around him as well, and then he just is like, "Well, no, I'm not going to do it," and it's just like, "Oh, you just ruined it. Everything."
Yeah,
It's
it
just
yeah it's and again, I'm not the biggest wrestling guy, but I went down a rabbit hole because I was hearing nothing but how WrestleMania 41 was just a trash fire, and I was like, well, let's make I got an hour to kill.
right.
So I watched how The Rock essentially damaged the brand for a hot minute.
Yeah, there you go. Uh, wait, what? Okay, what video game character should John Cena play? Me, Guile? No, hell no. If anything, he could have played Duke Nukem. There you go. I'll put him to
I
that.
I'll tell you who he could play.
Who's that?
Uh, Dig Dug.
Oh boy. I agree with Multi that Dante and Hellboy would bros if they ever met. Yeah, Dante and Hellboy would be cool with each other. They definitely be cool. I definitely see that. Uh, have you guys seen the day the Earth blew up? No, I have not seen that yet.
I have not seen that either. Um I wanted to, and I think I might. I even saw like the Blu-ray at Walmart, and I was like, I'll get it another time. But I do I want to have it just so I can, because I want to support that 2D animation, and I just fucking love Looney Tunes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So even if it sucks, I still want to like own it and like give money to that.
Yeah. Sorry guys. Okay. Let me see. What's that next? Oh, did you watch South Park when it first aired? No, I did not. I did not. Uh, until somebody told me about some episodes, and I was like, I'm gonna check. But I'm not the biggest South Park fan, guys. I really don't. Do you want a open world Hellboy game? That would be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Rock wanted people's souls. Insert Mortal Kombat joke. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like I want your soul. That's the funniest thing. I saw the re-release of Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith. Okay, did you like it? Do you think Insomniac Games they should make a Fantastic Four game? I mean, did a great job with Spider-Man games. Yeah, they did, but again, you're missing the point, Hunter. No, who's no? You're missing the point. God of Comics is that that's one character. We're talking about the Fantastic Four, and if anything, I've said it before. If they did a new Fantastic Four game, they should play it like they did that last Guardians of the Galaxy movie, where you could flip between characters right on screen, like they were all there together. So if you wanted to play with Groot, you could flip right to Groot and things like that. I actually liked that. I thought that was really cool. I would not want to just, oh well, you can only do this mission with Sue or something. No, I would like to be able to switch between characters. Insomniac is good for solo characters. Like I'm looking forward to the Wolverine game, but
did you hear EA canceled the Black Panther game?
yeah, the studio shut down. That studio that was gonna make it shut down. I was like, oh Jesus.
And it makes me wonder, what about that Captain America Black Panther game?
Does make me
I have heard nothing about that.
That 1940, yeah, it does make me wonder about that. So behind him right now, it means a push cross. Somebody, yeah. I mean, Carrying Cross is another one that he would get pushed. I think he should, Danny. I miss him as being when he was in NXT, when he was more like that serial killer that I liked, and now he's just not the same. After they started like releasing everybody, yeah, he's not the same. And if and I think once his contract is up, he's gone. He's gonna leave again. I'm leaving the chat now. Good night, guys. Bye, Hunter. Uh, Karen. I want to see WWE push Karen Cross like have him team up with Cody. That ain't happening. That is not happening at all. And I want to see this Dante using his reboot self as a human shield, like when Deadpool used his version of Nice Pool. Oh, okay. Oh God, it's really good. Okay, look. I like Looney Tunes, so yeah, I wouldn't mind if it's bad anyway. So who's your favorite Looney Tune? Daffy Duck. There you go. I'm a Daffy man. I hope Insomniac makes a Daredevil game. That would be fun. Would you play a new Punisher game? Yes, I would play a new Punisher game. Where you can interrogate people like they did in that last game, where you can he gets information from people and he would torture them. That was very fun. Uh, do you want an Insomniac? Do you want a Insomniac game to play like Gargoyles game? Like no, I don't think that'd be right. Okay, guys. So you should get your last questions in because I'm gonna wrap this up right here, right now. Wrap it. Okay, wrap it up. Let's go. Last questions. Let's go. I'm ready. Before I go, so let's start this off. I read this one comic when the Punisher killed the parents for giving bad stuff with their kids. What the fuck? Wait,
What?
what comic
What?
was that? What?
Wait, I don't even understand what the question was.
He said I read this one comic when the Punisher killed the parents for giving bad stuff to their kids. What
I
comic was?
think that's a story in Max.
Yeah, it could be Mac. I haven't read all of Punisher Mac, so I would love to see a spiritual successor to the 2005 game. That's the one. That's the one I'm talking about. Yes. Later, guys. Thank you, Warhawk. Take care. If you got a new Punisher game, I hope we get Thomas Jane back as voicing him. I wouldn't mind that. Uh, I am looking forward to. Speaking of Punisher, I'm gonna make this real quick. I am looking forward to the Punisher special, and they keep saying that rumors they want to have a female crime boss as the main villain, and I already know if they do who they will go for. If anybody's read uh, Garth Ellis's run, there was a character called Mama Gunucci. She was the big bad in his book, and Frank cut off her arms and legs, and she was just a big stub. Like it was at the end of yeah. That's who I think they would use if they don't want it. They want to keep Frank dealing with mobsters. Yeah, that'll be the person to use. Uh, do you guys remember the video game LA Future Cup? I think I did. She was in the Punisher game. Yes, she was. I was it. Okay,
Yeah.
guys. That looks to be it. Guys, look, I want to thank everybody for coming out again. Appreciate it as always. I didn't expect this from from Multi, but I appreciate it as well. But guys, we're gonna go. Thank you all for coming through. I'll be back next month and we'll do another one. Okay. But outside of that, you guys take care and I will see you guys next time. Later, dudes.